what I'll do is a recap while we wait for Lork. Last session, and a little bit of the session before that, the company found themselves at the rim of the sinkhole that formed within Thistle Hold and swallowed up buildings and taverns and citizens. And the company gathered with the other defenders of the city to defend Thistle Hold. Before that, just before that sinkhole formed, they had rushed to the clanging of the palisade bells, and while they were they had an unexpected meeting with witches upon giant colossi that were requesting entrance to the city and asking if the well had spoke. And then they wanted to enter the city because there was great evil within Thistle Hold, or corruption, and Captain Marvello brought the group back and closed the gates and sent for the mayor. At that point, that's when the well spoke and the giant sinkhole and Thistle Hold formed. The company fought through choking dust as the ground collapsed, and then past these terribly malformed men and women that rose from the darkness of that sinkhole. As they fought against these kind of twisted barbarians, along with an unmade transformed colossi at the rim, Degoi, a queen's man, jumped into the Thistle Hold and descended down into the darkness. He fought past some pale giant lizards the size of horses, and he trailed a group of these terrible barbarians down a long subterranean shaft and out into the early winter's night, finding himself now within Davokar after a number of hours. He persisted because of his impetuous Ambrian make. The company at the rim continued to fight with the city against these twisted men and women that rose up from the sinkhole, but eventually they defended the city and quiet fell, and they descended the sinkhole to try to find the lost Degoi because they saw him jump down and then fall. They didn't find Degoi, but they found blood and signs of battle, and they followed what looked like Degoi's footsteps out of this subterranean cave complex, and they followed this path. Eventually, Degoi's footsteps faded away, but they continued on, figuring the Ambrian man had continued to follow whatever he was following. Degoi continued to follow this barbarians through Davokar in the night, early winter and a light snow, and he found himself on the edge as these weary barbarians kind of collapse into a camp, and he tried to sneak into the camp, and he eventually fails, and he's struck down and loses consciousness. The company, after hours of trailing Degoi, exit the tunnel into cold Davokar night and decide that they're really unwilling to pursue Degoi. They can see the path that he followed because this group of whatever he's following made a huge path through Davokar, which is easy to follow. But at 2 or 3 in the morning in the dark, they're ill prepared to continue on, and they decide to wait until night, and they camp in the mouth of the tunnel, or the rift, as it comes into the Davokar in the forest. And that's where we kind of ended. Anyone have any questions or additions?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Sounds good, Jane.
All right, so the company, you wake up at dawn, you're cold, there's a light snow that falls, and you hear a mockingbird singing stolen songs in the forest, and you see it lift from a branch and wing into the forest down this trail. You're in this little depression where this tunnel or rift exits into Davokar. You have no idea where you are, but you're hours into down that tunnel up into the light. The rift itself is probably 20 feet or 8-9 meters deep. It's got trees that have fallen into it, and it's relatively easy to climb out. You're on the trail of Degoi, who's been with you since you took the Copper Crown back into deep Davokar and the Ordo Magician's expedition, and then somehow survived on the way back. As you wake in this morning to a mockingbird song, What's the plan?
And it's winter. There's snow. There's no
Yeah,
snow.
there's just a light snow. It's early winter at the moment.
I'm
Not too.
being completely honest. If you look at
And
Not.
there's no trace. There's no trace of Degoi.
No, you could see the path that he obviously must have followed. It's easy to follow because it's a wide swath of broken limbs and feet and whatever he was following. It's not hard. You look at it and there must have been many people who were walking in that direction or moving, running in that direction. It's not a subtle thing within Davokar. You don't know how many people or why Degoi was following him, but you can tell that it was made by tens of people.
But we don't have any supplies, right, Jim? We don't have any supplies.
No, you jumped down the tunnel after Degoi without supplies, really. You had passed through what looked like people were living in the cavern complex and some foodstuffs that were kind of moldy and mushrooms and those type of things, pale fish with blind eyes. You didn't really stop. Lirame actually had looked up as you guys were trying to track down Degoi.
So we could go back and get our stuff, or we just continue without our supplies, which sounds not so smart. What do you guys want to do?
Well, this friend of yours, Degoi, how stupid is he? I mean, okay, how impetuous is he? My bad.
Well, he doesn't lack courage. So.
No, that's for
Well,
sure.
that's not what I'm asking. Let's face it. He's going. It looks like he's chasing a big group of these beast guys. Is he likely to chase them until he or they die? Or is he likely, I mean, because, we've been doing this for a couple hours and we're still doing this. If we go back for supplies, he might make his end before we get back. Although, honestly, he might have already done that. I guess the question is, how much do you guys want to save your friend, colleague, co-worker?
Wow. Emilius for getting supplies and coming back. No sense in the entire group dying.
Oh,
I feel like we should press on. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
So Bo wants to press on. Master Emilio figures getting some supplies. Lena, what do you say as a somewhat tiebreaker?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Bo.
Okay.
To say that.
So Lena and Bo are for pressing on, Master Emilio. Do you grudgingly give in? And
Well, what do we have? Like, what could we consider?
You have all your kit. You just don't have food. Obviously, water.
We don't have food and no water.
Well, it's winter and there's snow. You always have water.
I have a water skin.
No food sounds really bad.
You would know Master Emilio won't affect you right away. It would start to take its toll after a day or so. You aren't that far out from your last meal. 12 hours, maybe 10 hours, maybe.
Oh, that's a lifetime.
I guess if you haven't left Thistle Hold, Laris, working in the forge, you have to eat all the time.
So what does Laris want to do?
I'm willing to do either. I asked the question of, what you guys thought he'd do and how much
You,
it's
you gotta be,
relevant.
you gotta be a tiebreaker.
I mean,
Well,
this guy is just, this guy's just a guy. I'm willing to
Go
keep it
back
going.
or
I'm
go
willing to go
forward.
back.
Bo and Lena says forward. Master Emilio says back.
So
know-
if I say nothing, we go forward. Is that it?
Yeah.
I guess we go forward.
All right. Master Emilio, you're going to begrudgingly agree?
I guess we. Oh wait, we got Lork here.
Lear May. I know what Lear May would say, but
I was going to abstain, so I may have to change my vote, period.
I will catch up Lear May. Lear May, you're in the morning. You wake up at the opening of the cavern entrance. Small fire. It's early winter. There's a little bit of light snow. You're on the trail, Degoi, and the company's deciding what to do, whether they follow this easy track and know Degoi is following and try to hunt him down while he's by himself, or whether they go back for supplies. Bo and Lena want to push forward. Master Emilio want to get supplies. Laris is somewhat undecided. Lear May, what would you side with Bo and Lena, or would you want to go back and get supplies? And
We have no food.
What do you mean? I've got 4 waybreds.
No, that's not with us. We don't have that since we just left.
would Lear May carry his food all the time?
He'd carry most of his stuff all the time. He doesn't like. I know he rooms with Father Savalo, but Father Savalo runs a homeless shelter, so
He carries his whole kit. He carries his whole kit every time, everywhere. That's fine.
He had a loaf of bread from the Father Savalo's place.
yeah. I imagine he takes his stuff with him because he doesn't really have
Anywhere to go.
anywhere he could leave his stuff.
So maybe
And-
Lear May pipes up and you have, 4 way bread and a half loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's fine then.
All right. So you head off. You kind of climb out of this small ravine into Davokar itself. The trail is easy to find. Who's in the lead? I would just ask.
Who's got the best vigilant?
Oh, it's Lena.
Lena, do you take
Yeah.
the lead or stay in the back?
Lena would do it.
All right. So Lena's going to lead you out, which, usually she's in the back, but soft-footed Lena goes out and is followed by the group into Davokar. The trail is easy to follow, really. It's probably about 30 yards or 30 meters wide, broken branches and footsteps and churned up, forest undergrowth and that sort of thing. RPG, how do you say your character's name?
Which one?
The new one.
Oh, the new one. I believe it's pronounced Helame
All right.
or Helamai. It's kind of hard to figure out.
So, Helame, you remember laughing in the loft. You were by a warm fire, you're drinking wine with friends, and then disaster strikes. The walls buckle, the building tumbles, and then nothing, just blackness. You wake up once or twice. You're kind of jostled. You're thrown over a shoulder that's high above a dark ground that you cannot see. You smell dirt and grime and the stink of bodies. You hear growls and crying and a guttural language you don't really know. and then blackness as you pass out again, only remembering that you were in Thistle Hold and now you're not. You wake up on your back, discarded, really. Cold. The morning sky is lightning just above you. You're battered and bruised and broken. What does Helame look like?
So Helame is a fiery redhead. She's pretty young, definitely of noble stock. And as she wakes up and looks around, I believe she has this kind of a tsundere kind of attitude where everybody is beneath her or of a servant, right? So
yeah, your
she
hair.
her hair's probably everywhere, and she's probably like looking around for the chambermaid to come brush her hair as she's waking up.
Roll 1d4, and that's how many toughness you have left. Well, got lucky there.
Okay.
Helame got lucky. How do you say the goblin's name? Land shark?
Nat.
Nat. What does he look like?
Yeah. So Nat looks just like his picture. He's bald. He's not wearing any armor. He's scarred all over his body, and his left eye has a scar that leaves him kind of half open, but not completely shut.
Okay. And so, question for Nat. Are you simply returning through Davokar after the loss of your master, or are you in Davokar trying to forget that loss, hunting alone? As dangerous as that may be on the edge of the northern edge of Davokar outside of Thistle Hold.
I think because he believes he's an Ironsworn, I believe he would try to make amends for not for failing his master. So I think he's out in the Davokar, in the forest, trying to find out what to do next.
Okay. Yeah, you're out in the forest, Nat, and your head's probably down for a moment, and then you come on this wide swath of trampled forest. Looks like many feet have gone through it. There's broken branches and the churn of the underground, indicating that the group is traveling north just the way the branches are broken. You see bodies strewn about, arms, separated legs, torsos. Some of the bodies are whole, yet partially consumed. They have small divot sizes in their flesh about the size of your mouth, and one of them moves.
Nat will make his way towards it.
RPG, this is Helame. Helame is on the ground in this bodily mix that's discarded, and she's probably spitting out her hair, and it's all over her face. And she sees a goblin moving through the forest towards her.
Hey,
Goblin.
you okay?
Yeah, I think so. Tell me, this is not my bedroom. Have I been drugged?
That must be one powerful drug you've taken. No, there is carnage all around you. Nat thinks you were wandering? Or did you cause this carnage? If so,
I might
train
have.
Nat.
But I don't think I did. You said your name is Nat Goblin?
Yep, that's me. Nat. I'm a master baiter.
Ah. That sounds vulgar and unappealing. Nat, fetch me my robe, please. I must get up.
Indeed. He'll go and grab like whatever is around. I don't know what it is, but
Bloody
whatever looks like a
clothes off.
robe.
Yeah, Nat, you go
like-
rummaging around and you find like a half-torn body. You notice that they're all Ambrians. They're wearing they're not wearing cloaks. They're all not dressed for winter. They're probably in regular clothes like Helime is, and you like strip off like a shirt or a tunic or something.
Yeah,
As you're
because Nat wouldn't know these things because he's practically naked himself.
right, as you're doing that, Lena, you're leading the company up this track that you're following, and you see this goblin like going from looks like body piece to body piece, and another red-headed woman kind of probably sitting up, and this goblin kind of grabs like a cloak and pulls it off of a body, runs back to Helime as the company come and see them. What does Lena, Bo, Lirame, and Master Emilio do as he sees this goblin attending to this red-haired woman?
Emilio kind of shuffles behind the others just in case.
You're in the middle of the pack, Master Emilio?
He's always behind. He's always behind Leo Man.
Okay. Bo, you see this goblin running back to, like, put this whatever he's found for Helime. What did you find, Nat?
I think it's a pair of trousers.
Oh, great.
They're large for a human. So to him, he thinks you could like wrap the legs around your neck and make a cloak.
Okay. Bo, you see this goblin running with strip off a pair of trousers off an obvious dead body, and you see strewn about, arms and legs and Ambrians like they were cast off. You all kind of see that some of them were consumed in some fashion. And what does Bo do as he sees this in the short distance?
I think he's going to approach and start inspecting the bodies and
Okay.
just out loud, what have we here? Start trying to figure out exactly what took place. You said some of them weren't dressed at all?
Well, you find body pieces, arms, legs, torsos, some full bodies that Nat just stole a pair of trousers for Helime. You see that they're not really carrying anything. They're dusty and broken and got mud and stuff and broken bones. They look mangled. They also have bite marks in them or chunks out of them about the size of your mouth, not from a beast or anything you've seen.
And no weapon marks that we can tell.
Yeah, no weapon marks. You look at them, and Bo, you know what happened in Thistle Hold with the sinkhole, and you could probably put it together that these people had either been dragged down by those things that came out of the sinkhole itself, or they ended up in the bottom of the sinkhole when the sinkhole formed and somehow made it here.
Emilio will call out to the goblin and say, "Is this your doing?"
So he'll like look at the redhead and be like, "Master, we have new friends."
I think Helime sits up or stands up, and she pattens down her wiry hair. She takes the trousers and looks at the goblin and says, "These will do for now. Next time, find a shawl." And then she ignores, a shawl. She ignores Master Emilio and looks to Bo the Ambrian and goes, "Sir, kind sir, could you help a young lady? You look like a respectable man, slightly above a peasant. Come, take my hand. Tell me, where am I?"
I'm well above a peasant.
Yeah.
I just approach and are you standing now or are you still sitting?
Oh, I'm
You
standing.
sitting up. You're standing, okay. Like, how did you come to be here anyway?
I was asleep in my father's home. I
She took
don't know what
drugs.
happened. There was no drugs, Goblin. There was no drugs.
But that's what you told me earlier.
I said I might have. Pay no attention to the Goblin. However, I awoke in this field of destruction. I'm not sure how I got here.
Emilio
Oh.
looks skeptically at this scene of carnage, and he questions the two. So you two just suddenly appeared in this field of battle amongst a pile of dead bodies.
What battle?
No,
do you
Nat
see?
was just over yonder. And you just points in some random direction. I think I was over there.
It's a goblin.
taking
It
both
doesn't,
hands. Sir, what is your name? And she probably rubs the top of his hand as she takes it.
You talking to Bo?
Yeah.
I am Master Bo.
Oh, another master.
Yeah, I think Helame would know that Bo is privileged just by his diction and speech.
Okay.
You know, not common variety.
Not
Emi-
common variety.
Emilio suddenly pipes up and says, "I'm the only master here."
He's
Three
about
masters.
he's about
Oh my
as tall as Nat. About as tall. Lyra May,
Is this your
Go.
child?
Not mine. I think he's full grown.
Oh dear.
we think. He is not always the most mature.
Is Emilio, Master Emilio, a dwarf?
no,
No, he's not. But he's a small. He's
Why
the,
don't- Why don't we go around a table and describe each other's character? Master Emilio, you could start. Describe Master Emilio to Nat, the goblin.
Master Emilio is a short, stocky, short, stout, scholarly-looking man. He's got an egg-shaped bald head and a bulbous red nose and oddly placed ears. On his face, he wears wire-rimmed spectacles with thick glasses that make his eyes look as big as chicken eggs. He wears the robes of the Ordo Magico.
Right. And
Okay, so
go
are
ahead.
you human?
Yes, I'm a human. He kind of bristles at that.
He's about as tall.
It's a question we often ask ourselves, but
Some might think that Master
I'm
Emilio
so
has
sorry.
goblin in there. Lyra May, how about you describe yourself to Nat?
Lyra May is a young changeling fella. He is dressed so like tall, pale, dark hair. There's kind of dressed out as if he was an
a noble?
Ambrian, yeah, relatively noble, like posture and things like that, but doesn't claim the title since he's not actually a human and is a disgusting forest-born filth that was invading proper Ambrian society. He's kind of loosely dressed in a set of Theurge's robes, but they've been kind of modified for a more adventurous lifestyle. So, armor plated, added, and things like that. He does have a sun mask, so quite devout in his worship to Prios. And another point of note is that he is carrying a hecking huge sword.
Right. Probably taller than Nat itself. Like the sword itself is huge. Lena,
Yeah.
how about you describe Lena to Nat?
Lena is a young adult Ambrian. She is an archer, and she's a quiet but always vigilant.
Right. She's the one that was up in front, quiet and silent on her feet, with a sharp eye. And then lastly, how that Bo who was talking to Helame, what does he look like for Nat?
He presents himself immediately as a noble, probably early 30s, I would say. Somewhat chiseled face. A cloak, and you can see light armor underneath the cloak, probably. Fencing sword, and you can see a shield. Gene, does it have an embossing, like a...
It's got these scallop borders with this kind of red patina around it, and maybe a gold inner line of it. It's small though, and it's much smaller than a shield that you typically use. It's like half the size, but it's, he holds it kind of in one hand, but it's not a common shield that anyone would necessarily have seen. It kind of looks like this. It's got this scallop border with this inner. Obviously, it's not on fire at the moment, but it's like handheld. It's like this platter-sized shield.
Right, a little bit, maybe twice the size of your hand, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So,
And
Bo,
that's
you
quick.
help Helame up.
Yeah,
and-
I would help her up.
Okay.
You forgot our other character, Lazarus.
Oh, I did. Laris, my fault. Why don't
That's
you just
okay.
describe Laris?
Okay, so Laris is hard to say what he is. He's wearing a big suit of very well made, very expensive looking plate armor. He's got a hammer, a steel shield. When you guys meet, he's got his visor down, but he lifts the visor and then becomes clear he's an Ambrian. He is big, like not fat, but like wide shoulders, big arms, like muscular. He's, can't tell what color his hair is under the helmet, but he's got brown eyes. Relatively clean shaven. But next to him walks a bigger man in armor, also very well made, with a, well made sword and steel shield. Except that it appears that this well made man, if you look at him, isn't really a man. He's fire seems to be erupting from some of his joints every so often, and his sword that he's holding in his hand is actually on fire. Laris introduces the other individual as Ferris, and when Ferris gets introduced, you hear a slow grumble of like anytime you start that like fire, that like whoosh sounds kind of like that, but it's lower, more bass.
You hear a girly scream at a very high-pitched noise as Helame runs up to Laris. Right, Laris? No, Ferris.
Ferris and
just
Laris.
Goos and gahs in the most girliest of terms at the servant. It's so cute. I want two. Can I have him?
No, but you can get two, as it turns out, if you join the Ordo and learn their secrets.
Join the Ordo? Why would I want to do that?
Who's Ordo?
Ordo is a group, not a person. At least it is now. Maybe it was a person once upon a time.
What's his name again?
So if I meet Ordo, I become fire?
Nope. But if you meet Ordo and learn under Ordo, you can learn to wield fire.
Amelia starts to wonder if there's some sort of affliction in the group.
About what? They just had bad meat, Master
There's
Emilio.
some affliction with cunning, with
Everybody's so literal.
So Emilio kind of interjects and says, "Well, we have a mission to carry out to find our lost headstrong companion. You could join us, or you could just, or we could just give you directions to Thistle Hold."
My former master said to fight the darkness. Are you going into the darkness?
Very likely, yes.
Then we could go together.
Emilio looks over at Helena, and you, young miss. Perhaps you should go back. This is a very dangerous place.
Dangerous? How can it be dangerous when there's such a fine-looking flame here?
We need drugs for this one. Then she could unleash the power.
What was his name again?
Eris.
Ferris.
Okay, time's a wasting. Let's press on.
All right, so we're gonna follow the trail.
Go ahead, Not.
I was gonna say, follow me. I'll take the lead.
All right, so I have a question for the group. There's really two positions. There's really three positions. There's in the front, in the middle, and in the rear. So who's up front with Nat leading the group through the forest?
I would be
Probably
up
Lena. Probably Lena's the best.
Lena, do you go with Nat or do you stay in the rear?
What do you need for scouting is vigilant, right?
Yeah, it's vigilant
Yes.
and discreet vigilant, but more vigilant.
Well, Nat's not a discreet person. He's a masturbator, so he pulls enemies.
So, Bo, you're up front with Nat. Lena,
Mhm.
are you front, middle, or rear?
At the back.
At the
Lena will
back.
be at the back.
Okay. How about Lyra May?
He's probably closer to the front.
So
Amelia will be behind Leo May.
you gonna,
Then he is at the front.
Master Emilio. We will put you,
Amelia's always behind Leo May.
okay. We're putting Nat and Bo at the forward. Lyra May, Emilio kind of in the mid forward. Lena in the back. What about Laris and Ferris? Mid, back?
Probably after the scouts,
Okay,
before the other
right.
softies.
And how about Helame?
Helamay's right next to Ferris, wherever Ferris is.
All right. So I got Nat and Bo in the front, Lyra May and Emilio like in that middle ground, kind of. In the middle are Laris, Ferris, Helame, and Lena's kind of in the back. Let me do one thing, because we're going to fade to black and we're going to go to Degoi here for a moment. So Degoi, you wake up with blood in your mouth. You're exceedingly cold. Your hands and feet are tied behind your back, like you're trussed up like a hog ready for slaughter, and you're naked. You're laying on your left side, and you're looking
It's a
past.
good day.
Right, you're looking past this meager fire, and you see barbarians of all sorts, twisted, tall, malformed with antlers and long arms and talons, and short, kind of dusky men and women, just barely the size of goblins. And then past them, in the middle, oddly, are common folk. Barbarians, they kind of shield their eyes like the sun is too much for them. They're mostly old and children, probably no older than 12, maybe 14. That's the mass of them. You can't really see how many. You suddenly hear this growl, and you shift your head on the ground, and you see this boy that's dressed up in this dirty patchwork of clothes that have long since lost its color, crouching kind of near the fire, but it's not really looking at you. It's looking at the figure that has its taloned feet on your body and your hip. And this little boy just makes this growl, and then you hear her, an answering growl full of menace and full of spite and full of intent, and you kind of crane your head up, Degoi, just with as much strength as you can, and you see the woman who's using your body as a stool. She's got these black leather wings that are kind of wrapped around her as if to keep her warm. She's got these high, hollow cheekbones, long, bony arms with delicate fingers are holding a skinned carcass of a rabbit that she's eating raw. And the boy growls at her again, and she growls back. And that little boy's form kind of takes a step towards you in mock menace. And then sunlight kind of dazzles your eyes, and you hear her laugh, this thing that's sitting on in front of you. Her laugh kind of twirls from her thin black lips like a mockingbird, testing, really, and singing a song that she's stolen because it shouldn't be on this blighted form, this laughter that's bright and warm. And then the woman, or whatever she is, throws the carcass at the boy as her laughter tapers off, and the boy kind of grabs it from the air, tries not to smile, and he's only partially successful. The figure, this winged woman that you tried to track down that now has you trussed up naked at her feet, she knows you're watching, and she looks at you, and she just has these brown eyes with seemingly no justification to grace such a horrid form, and they just look at you. Her voice is kind of guttural, and she speaks really poor Ambrian, like it's full of sharpness, and she spits it out like it tastes bad in her mouth. And she looks at you, Degoi, and says, "Will your people ever stop? Have you not killed my kin enough? Look, only old and children are left, and those who have given themselves to the witches for us. Why have you made the hole in the ground to torture us again?"
I think Degoi, puzzled by the speech of this creature, this foulness, and he looks up at her. While he's looking up, he tries to shift, underneath her weight, and he goes, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about, you ugly bitch, but if you don't get your filthy claws off of me, you monstrous whore, I might."
Go ahead.
I might.
While you're digging the hole, you might as well keep digging.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in it, you're in it all the way. You might as well just give up. Soon, the Ambrian forces will be here and put all of you down, just like you belong in the ground.
Yeah, she looks at you with these soft brown eyes and this face that is just a monstrosity.
While I'm talking, I'm trying to is the ground soft? Is it?
No,
wet?
you're just like hard ground. You got like needles, pine needles sticking in you. It smells like dirt and forest and snow. You're shivering a bit because you're naked.
Right. Well, that's fine. I'd like to just piss on the ground.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty good to do.
You start to pee and a mockingbird lands next to your head. It kind of hops forward a little bit and then pecks at one of your eyes. And then it jumps up on your shoulder and starts to sing the stolen songs that it sings. And the woman cocks her head, her wings kind of foil out a little bit, and she listens to the bird, and then you hear her yell, and this huge kind of beast of a man with horns out of its head and out of its neck, huge arms that just kind of trail along the ground, and then one of those small, dusky skin individuals, probably just barely taller than a goblin. Its teeth, are filed down to points, and she attends to her, and she turns to you. You are a scout. They come behind you. Tell me of them.
Sure, I'll tell you all you want to know. How about you let me up and I'll show you what they'll do when they get here.
Who are they?
Your worst nightmare.
You will answer my questions, Ambrian man. What is your name?
I have no name. I'm just a spy. I followed you lot here and left a trail so they can follow. They'll be here soon. You might want to run. Especially from this really tall guy.
You feel her, Degoi, as she tries to sneak into your mind. You see her lips move a little bit. If you could try to resist, I'd appreciate it.
Resolve?
Resolve. Well, no, actually, you just could click on it if you could see it. She's trying to bend your will.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't in the chat. All right.
So, Degoi, you've seen Master Emilio do this, and what the woman does to you is not the same thing. Wherever she learned bend will film, it's not the way Master Emilio does it. As her mind enters yours, you have a vision. You see a young girl hurrying people down a crack in the stone floor into the darkness. You feel battle is raging around you. You don't really hear it, but you feel it. It's almost a smell, blood and iron and screams, but you don't hear anything. The thrum of death. And then the young woman enters last and looks back out from that darkness, and all you see is those brown eyes of what she was before. She is Helenor. She was the chieftain's daughter, and you feel her name inside you, and now she is the chieftain. And the way she takes control of your mind is that scene. It's a bait. It draws you in, and before you know it, she binds your will to her and enters your mind. And you have to answer her honestly, everything. Yet unlike Master Emilio, who just sends people to their death like they're wooden puppets, you're still Degoi. You know you're still Degoi. You still have a free mind, yet you're incapable of lying and incapable of not answering her. And she looks at you again and she goes, "What is your name?"
Degoi.
Yeah, you grit your teeth and she knows it. Will your people ever stop, Degoi, Ambrian man?
No.
Then tell me who comes. Who would come after you?
Friends, compatriots, my traveling party. They'll come and kill you all.
Yeah, Degoi, she questions you about them, and you tell her about Lirame and Master Emilio and Bo and Lena. You don't know Elamane, you don't know Nat, you don't know they're there. But you tell her about Lirame, Master Emilio, Bo, and Lena. You tell her everything. You tell her their strengths, what each of them can do, everything she wants to know about them. And she looks at you, and she gives orders in this guttural language, and you can hear each of their names on them. And then they start to go, and she holds them for a minute, and she looks at you, Degoi, and she says, "If you were fighting them, whom would you kill first?"
If I had to take someone out first, I think it would be Lirame, followed by Lena, followed by Laris, or Bo would be the last one I take out. Master Emilio can be swatted away very easily. But Bo would be last simply because of his toughness nature. Yeah, he needs to be ganged upon. And have attacks from all sides.
She looks at you and she says, "These little ones," and the small dusky ones have these small little bows. "We call them the Whispering Death. Their arrows are black, and they do not heed armor. Tell me one last thing. Whom among them do you treasure the most?"
Lena. She is by far my treasure, my soul, and I hope she puts an arrow through your eye.
She nods and she gives orders to the group. You could hear Lena's name on her lips as you look around and you see a large group of huge bestial men and monstrosities and these smaller archers kind of leave. And she looks at you and she says, "The Degoi Ambrian men, they will all die. The Whispering Death will take them all, black arrows that have no limits. And what is left of Lena they will bring back to me. And I will have you watch what my witches do to her, and I will leave you in the forest so you can know the pain that I know and live for it." And then she just kicks you in the head and knocks you out.
I think Degoi, after hearing the threat of Lena, struggles very hard against anything. And even though I'm bend to will, I think I would spit, an insulting spit at her.
Yeah, she lets you do that, Degoi, unlike perhaps what Master Emilio may do to his. And you have a sense that she is unwilling to steal all your freedom. You have to answer her, but you're not a puppet. And part of her doesn't want to take all the freedom that you are by using bend will.
She's probably just playing with her food. I got it.
Right. So we're fade to the other group. You're moving through the forest. Nat and Bo are in the front, and Learme and Master Emilio are kind of behind them a little bit. Laris, Ferris, and Helime are kind of in the middle, and Lena's in the rear. What I'd like for everyone to do, besides Nat and Helime, is I want Master Emilio, Laramie, Bo, Laris, and probably Ferris to roll resolute checks. And if you fail the resolute check, the cold of winter is just seeping into your bones and flesh, and you suffer 1d4 points of strength damage.
Oh, by the way, Gene, I sent you a message if you didn't see it.
On chat or in the
Discord.
directly to me, though, huh?
Yeah.
Did Laris roll?
We're working on it.
I'll use an XP.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry super much. A D4 strength damage can be restored pretty easily by.
Is it the same as?
It's the same as if you were a toughness wound.
Right.
Any
Yeah.
method that can heal toughness can also heal stat loss.
Yeah, but that consumes resources, right?
Well, in a sense, Laramie could do Holy Aura, and with one
Yeah, but
temporary corruption.
Holy Aura will do. He's not going to choose. Holy Aura will do toughness. If he does lay on hands to one person, he can do strength or agility or quickness.
No, it's anything that restores toughness.
Right, but Holy Aura is kind of a blanket. Whereas like Medicus, herbal cures, lay on hands, they're more directed to each person. if you. But
Right.
I used XP.
I see. Okay. And then what I would like is, in the front is Nat and Bo. One of you have to roll vigilant, and in the middle is Master Emilio, Laris, and Helame. And one of you have to roll vigilant, and then in the rear, Lena, you have to roll vigilance. Each front, middle, and rear has their own vigilant roll to see if they're surprised.
My vigilance sucks. Emilio's vigilance is really bad.
Nat, what is yours?
Mine's 15.
Like, he's great.
Much better than mine.
Yeah, you are the best far and away for the little group.
And Lena.
So I just click on the vigilant stat
Yep.
and roll, right?
And Lena has to roll also.
Okay.
All right, so Nat rolls for the front, Lena rolls for the rear, and Laris or Helame rolls for the middle. Look at you all, vigilant wonders.
It pays to have eyes that can see, Master Emilio.
Well,
Or
he doesn't have
magnifying
them.
glasses.
He definitely doesn't have them.
What's Helena's vigilant? Helene's vigilant?
Oh, Hellamaze? 9.
Well,
Oh,
he's
you
the
beat
star.
me. Go ahead and roll.
Go ahead.
Oh, really?
Mine's only an 8. I'm a blacksmith. I'm not supposed to, worry about things like seeing shit.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
Everyone makes it crazy.
F your
First.
pride.
We're not gonna fall into a pitfall.
Nope. What I'm going to do is put you on the map, and I'm going to put everyone's icons out, and I want you to place yourself where you would be in the lineup. We're kind of you'll see, I will put everyone's out. We will stay kind of in this middle section, but I don't know how far everyone is from each other. I know there are people in the front and people in the back and people in the middle. I would somewhat stay in that relative spot. Each hex is like 3 meters. Everyone passed, so no one's going to be surprised. It's just going to happen around you. Let me throw everyone's.
Which way are we headed? North?
Yeah, we're headed towards Bo. Bo's up in the front. Master Emilio is kind of standing next to the thing. Nat is up here with Summer. And you can move your icons kind of where you would be, because the surprise will come and the enemy is already on the map. You just can't see them yet.
Hey, Gene,
Yeah.
since we know these creatures are treated as culture beings, is it okay to teach the new people as we're traveling how to fight so that I can have them getting the benefit of beast lore?
Yeah, I think as you're traveling through the forest, Laris, you would be instructing them on pointers. Like, we've seen these things before, and
Right.
Here's what I would do, or however Laris would do as you're moving through the forest.
Oh, it'll all be very technical. Like the belly, it's an easy target. There's not a lot of protection there. Fine, and it hurts like hell, but it's often not immediately lethal. So, go for lopping off limbs if you can. The throat, the neck, any place where there's seams in an armor. Since I've fought these creatures, I will be very specific to them.
Okay.
I'll point out that some of them just like punch through armor, and others seem to have a corrupting nature to their attacks. And I'll differentiate which one's which.
I see. My master told me the pointy end goes in.
I'll take a look at your gear. Are you wearing
Yes,
any
yes,
armor?
that's what he meant. He says a lot of things. That's what he meant.
No, he's not wearing any armor. He has a bow staff, a longbow, and a crossbow.
Okay. Do you wish to borrow a weapon?
These were gifted to me from my former master. I am okay, thank you.
So the goblin's naked, and he has what does he have?
A quarterstaff, a longbow, and a crossbow.
I'll look over to Helame and say, see if she has any, assuming she doesn't have armor on, but
So she has a very nicely well made, like traveling attire, like, very well made.
Oh, that's a
She has
lot
a
of dice,
sword,
man. Oh, that's a lot of dice.
sword at her hip.
okay, I'll look at the sword. Is it anything in particular, like a fencing sword or something like that, or is it just
It's
a
a
generic
bastard
sword?
sword.
Oh, okay. As we're walking, I will indicate that in my backpack I've got a blacksmithing apron. It's thick leather. It'll offer you some protection, but still let you move reasonably well if you care to try it on.
You want me to wear an apron? I'm not barefoot and pregnant. Get that away from me. It doesn't even match my outfit.
Did you just say
No.
get back in the kitchen?
But, you know what else won't likely match your outfit? The red of your blood if something hits you through it.
She grabs Ferris's arm. Ferris wouldn't let that happen, would you, Ferris?
I haven't yet taught Ferris how to get in the way of blows aimed at other people. It might be something we teach him someday, but it hasn't happened yet. He will definitely block people, but if they get past him, then his utility as a block is gone. By the way, if you care to look, if you look at Ferris has a helmet on, but his visor's been modified to look like a tiger, and Laris's helmet has been modified so that the visor looks like an owl.
Oh, a kitty. That's so cute.
You say that, and Ferris roars like a fire, like a big old bonfire, because that's what he thinks a kitty should do.
That's so cute.
Ferris is leaning into it then. That's what I see.
Right?
Ferris is, ultimately, he doesn't show it often, but he's a bit of a ham.
So
So
go ahead.
I was just about to ask about all these icons or these tokens that just popped up in the back here.
Yeah, the company is moving through the forest following the trail, and a ambush and trap has been set. Unfortunately, a magpie or a mockingbird lands on a branch and it gets distracted, doesn't send a signal, doesn't sing its song, and then realizes it's made a mistake, and you see it warble really fast, but everyone looks up at the mockingbird, and then these beastmen erupt from the cover and snow and branches they were hiding under and logs. But you've passed them a little bit. The company kind of whirl around, and they see the huge guardian beast that they fought on the rim, and they see these misshapen barbarian warriors that are mostly behind them. They've transited past them, and they're not caught unawares. And so there's no ambush action because the front, middle, and back all passed their vigilant test. So we'll go straight to combat as Eleanor's beastmen and beastal warriors. You're past them. The main group is mostly past them. Only Lena and the middle group is kind of at the verge of them, but you walked past them and they were waiting for the signal from the mockingbird, and it didn't come. So we will go to combat and start with Laris. Laris, you're moving through the forest and you see this mockingbird kind of land and hop around, peck at a branch, and then snap its head up and sing this kind of warble, a stolen song from one of the other birds, as mockingbirds typically do, and then snap it closed, and you hear all this motion behind you, behind Ferris, back where Lena is. You hear the roars of these bestial guardians and bestial warriors. You look back and there's a whole lot of them. Laris, what does Laris do?
Okay. Do these, because you changed the icons, it appears, the tokens.
I just changed the picture.
The art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm. Can I still distinguish? These are the guys that ignore armor, right?
Yeah, these are the guardians, and they don't necessarily ignore armor. These are just the big giant ones that hit hard, double-handed, heavy warhammer that can sometimes ignore armor. And then the smaller ones that are slightly the same size that have these elongated arms and long kind of taloned hands that if they hit you, they can cause poison and corruption.
Right. Is any of these look different than the two types we've fought so far?
No, you don't see any that look different.
Okay. I will say to the team, use what I taught you, everyone. Be careful. And with that, I'll look at Emilio, who is right behind me. So I don't know if he's turned yet, but I'll be like, Master Emilio, always standing in the wrong spot. And I come to here, and I leadership tag. I'm going to go ahead and leader tag the one near Helame because it's the one closest to Ferris. And Helame doesn't look like she's really built for this sort of work. And by built, I mean clothed.
Okay. So you leadership tag the one next to Helame.
Yeah, I got so many different pictures still. Like, I was checking out some of the art, I think maybe of Lena, because I don't know, like, I've seen it before, but it still looks kind of cool. So let me, there we go. We will leader that guy, and cultural beings. Well, that's if I want to roll to learn information. I feel like we've got. Yeah, I kept meaning to do this because it's actually very informative. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the basic adept level or novice level of beast lore because it's supposed to give us stuff. And I know through the fight we've basically learned it all, but
sure.
I should have done it last session. So basically, the novice level, the novice level is you have to describe the monster and statistics to the player. I will specifically try to learn more about the brutish ones that can sometimes just give a bone rattling smash.
Sure. They have a rough hide, Laris. It's thick, like their skin has been overgrown or sewed in pieces of leather and shale and rock, whatever was in the dark. And looking at it, you can see that you have to hit past that kind of roughened hide. It's probably twice as strong as leather armor, but not necessarily as strong as chainmail. When Laris looks at them, they have these huge hands that end in these kind of large, bony stumps and with spikes out of it. Like their whole arms have been changed, and they just come together and can smash down on you, which is where their two-handed force and damage and ignoring armor. They also spray blood, so when you hit them, they can spray blood at you, and their blood is corrosive the way they've been changed. You can just see it and that can land on you whenever you strike them and do damage to them. And that's what Laris learns. There's not a lot else besides them. They're really brutish force. Laris, looking at them, can probably tell that the way their hide is built, that it just morphs and fixes itself, seals itself over, and almost heals itself, glues itself back together. Nat, you're up in front. You hear this commotion come from behind you. You're standing next to Bo and this third masked Learme who's near you. You're small and got no armor, but you're in the forest and your master has taught you some. You look behind you and you see this mass of misshapen men with horns out of their heads and neck and hides that are patchwork of skin and bone and sinew. What does Nat do as he turns around and hears them?
He kind of whispers to himself, "Master, I found the darkness. I'll do what you taught me." And he kind of like takes out his staff, and then you see, kind of lost in thought for a second, and then he puts his staff away and he pulls out his bow or his crossbow, fires it, and takes out his staff again.
Okay. Do you know how to target? You
just click on it, right?
Yeah, you can click on it, and then there's that target icon. You can right click on it. You see the target icon in the bottom left. That's that double circle, or 3 circles and a dot in the center. Right below the gear, that's the target, so you can target that way.
Wait, I don't see it.
If you right click,
you will need to double right click.
double right click.
Double right
Yep.
click. Okay, there you go.
Ah.
Okay.
As the GM, you can single right click on everyone
Oh,
and see their
okay.
icons, but we can only do that to tokens we control.
Right.
Yeah, just so I understand, right? We already had our weapon. We didn't have our weapons out, or we did.
Yeah, you have your weapons out. You're not following this trail with unarmed.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily have you draw them. If you say you had your crossbow ready and knocked, then you have your crossbow ready and knocked. It's you're going into danger. No, everyone would probably have their weapons out ready.
Well,
to
he
go.
has his quarterstaff, so we always travel with his quarterstaff out.
Right.
So how do you move in this game? Sorry, I'm still learning this stuff.
You have 2 actions, one movement action and one other action. Spells, attacks.
Yeah,
that
but
sort of thing.
how far can you move?
You can move.
Is it 6
30
hexes?
6 hexes.
30
1, 2,
meters.
3. Yeah. 30 meters or 6 hexes. Each hex is about 3 meters, but we do 6 hexes, which is about 18 meters, give or take, which ends up being about 30 something feet. So you can move 6 hexes. You have line of sight for your crossbow. So as long as you can see it, right now you might be in the trees, but they're just coming at you, so you can see them all over. So it's kind of line of sight. You don't really have range increment. So you can move 6 hexes. If you want to double move,
Okay.
then you can move obviously 12 hexes or however. If you just do nothing but move.
Okay, so what Nat wants to do is he wants to move up. He has his quarterstaff, right? And during his move, 3 spaces up, he switches while he's running to his bow or his crossbow, fires, switches back to his quarterstaff, and then moves 3 over again. But I want to make the fire around this spot, and that's part of agile combat.
Right. Which no one has but him.
So crossbow.
Right. You
Roll.
could. There you go. Okay. So you shoot
Okay.
your crossbow at that one.
Mhm.
You just see that bolt hit it. It kind of turns to you and makes this guttural kind of roar, and spittle comes out its mouth. And you continue your movement.
Yeah, I switch to my quarterstaff again
Okay.
for defensive purposes, and I kind of taunt it. Over here. Leave the goblin man alone. And I'll run away.
You're gonna stay right there then? Oh, you're gonna go
No, I'm
that
gonna
far.
run. Yeah.
All right. What happens next is that the Whispering Death fire their arrows. You don't really hear them. They come silently. You just hear them the last few feet because they have white fletching that don't really whisper. They just kind of murmur. And you just hear that murmuring as the arrows come at you in that last few feet of flight.
Mm-hmm.
And Degoi has decided who must die.
The audacity of them.
Lirame, Leno, Master Emilio, and Bo. The Goblin Knot and Helame, they're extras, unaccounted for.
Wait, it's Laris before them. Laris before Master.
Laris
Emilio.
oh, was it? You sure?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
it was.
Right. Well, let's see if they can keep it straight. But they obviously can see Bo. I mean, Lirame, because he's the only one with this bright mask that Degoi told him about. And they fire down from somewhere. Lirame.
Ow.
Lirame, you hit the ground. You hear the murmur of the arrow. And it takes you right underneath your right arm. And it just kind of sinks you down to your feet and knees on the ground in the pine. Both hands hit the ground. You're luckily to keep control of your sword. And you look up, and just in the trees, you see the flight of the white fletching. You can't really hear it, but you know it's coming.
Is this modified for me being on the ground?
Yeah, I did. I took their advantage away and it gave them disadvantage. They had advantage because they were higher, but now you're on the ground and took that away, made it flat. Should be flat.
Are the arrows coming from behind us or from the side? Oh my god. Are they coming from
I
behind
mean,
us?
they're ignoring armor. Why are you not surprised? But yeah, it's
They're coming from above you,
Above.
above you in the trees. You can't really see it. You just see the arrows come down and hit Lirame, but you can't really see them. And as Lirame goes down, one last arrow comes out of the trees at Lena and the back. You rolled a 4. Why did that one hit?
that's 9.
Well, it's
Is
minus 5, right? So it's 9 minus 5, which is 4.
Oh, she rolled.
But it says minus 1 mod.
Oh, no, because her quick is 11. I'm just looking at the numbers to see.
Armor.
A
impede
longbow
armor.
has
Meeting.
precise.
Yeah, but she
Yeah, the
rolled.
mod is probably
Uh,
the mod is probably precise. The defense is 9 because she's probably got impeding armor.
Yeah, but she rolled. Wouldn't that be a? She rolled. Let's see. Oh, it's.
the
I see.
yeah.
Though I do find
Yeah.
it still weird because if she rolled a 4, that should be her target number.
Yeah, but
'Cause
it's
she's the one
subtracting
that's
the
trying to
accurate
defend.
and it's subtracting
No.
the precise. So it's minus
Oh, it's
6.
right. It's
Yeah.
another modifier on top of that, right? So it's a 3.
So she had to
target.
roll a 3 or less to avoid that.
All right. We'll put her prone. I'll look at the numbers. Make sure I'm not making a mistake, because that's awful low. I may have to adjust.
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
the mistake is they hit us all the time.
yeah, they got like a 15 plus on their accurate, so they are strong archers.
I may have to adjust a little bit. Otherwise, I will adjust slightly.
All right, Gene, I have a backup character.
Well, if I make a mistake that I don't recognize that, that's how they ever going to get past those. That wasn't my intent. I don't usually make them that hard, but I will probably adjust a little bit as we go, just so you know. But
real quick question.
Right.
Since we're talking about archery, and I just remembered, how do you enable the master marksman thing? Because when I rolled, it didn't show up.
You go to marksman and you go to master and you click the box. You got the box click. So it should
it did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the attack macro, when you roll it, there should be a checkbox for ignore armor.
Basically, in the middle of the pop-up box.
Yeah,
right? A little ignore armor. Check.
Yeah, you see a little when he rolls his bow.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
at the very bottom.
Yeah, I
in
didn't
which
click
case, Nat's crossbow should have done 7 damage rather than 3.
That's correct.
If he bypassed the armor.
Okay, so I'll put the 7 in.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
6.
realize.
All right. So the whispering death arrows fall from the trees. Both Learme and Lena go to the ground. Lena kind of shakes it off. Bo, you're standing up front there, and you see the goblin Nat fire his crossbow bolt pretty expertly and then dance off into the side. And then you see the arrows really, maybe hear the murmur right when Learme goes to the ground. What does Bo do?
He's gonna hurl his shield.
Okay.
Gene, I don't think I have shield fighter, and I don't think it's coming up on my defense.
I look at it. You could throw your shield while I look at your...
Is your shield a shield or is it a buckler?
It's his shield does both. He could throw it and he could use it as a shield.
No, but is it classified as a shield or a buckler? Because bucklers don't work with shield fighter.
It's classified as a shield.
Shield.
Okay. So you're gonna throw your shield. Girakosh's.
Yeah, why don't I see my weapons on the...
Because you stored them. I'm gonna put them back. You don't have them equipped.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, I just equipped them, and you should see them now. For some
So
reason.
I'm gonna shift over here a little bit,
Okay.
and then hurl the shield at the first guy.
Okay. What does that look like? That was the same one. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you just see him totter a little bit as you throw the shield out. It just clips him in the top of the head, and he rocks back a little bit. And Girikoshi's shield comes back in your hand, Bo.
No, it goes to the next one.
Oh, it keeps going.
Yes. Hopefully.
You're using its power. I didn't realize. So explain how it's working, Bo, as it bounces from one head to the next.
I think it's through my mental capacity, almost willing it to move to the next target.
Right. You're just following it. It hits that one in the head and nearly drops it, hits the other one and hits it down onto its knees. And it keeps moving, Bo.
Yeah.
Where does it go next?
Behind him, slightly behind him.
Okay. Nat, you're kind of standing there with your crossbow bolt. You see Bo's little shield. He's just about this big. You know, it's like a platter, and he hurls it. You just see it bounce. Hit one, hit another one, put another one down on its knees. You might have chosen the wrong master.
Okay, Bo, by the way, you haven't added Beast Lord damage to any of those hits yet.
Yeah, we could add them. Where does it go next, Bo?
I got it targeted. Do you see it?
Okay, yeah, you can keep rolling until you fail. I think it hits it. I think
Yeah.
since it hits, it keeps going. But once it misses, then
Right. The chain is ended.
right.
That's pretty cool.
He's gonna roll his corruption here afterwards. There you go. Roll
Now you get to add D4 to all the guys you hit.
right. Add 1d.
Including the one that
Yeah, you could do that.
I did no damage to.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, because you did 3 to
You-
his 4 armor, so that minus whatever you roll for that guy is that -1 in terms of actual damage.
Yeah. So roll.
Gene, do you want me to
you
start
go in-
rolling?
Yeah, go in order. I got him in order. You just tell me the number.
Okay. 4.
Right. So you see this one as you clip him in its head, it like shaves off the part of the top of its head, and it just goes shaking to the ground. Laris.
3.
Yeah, that one goes to its knees and it bends over and it touches its forehead to the ground, but then it kind of shakes itself back up. Bo.
2.
The shield hits it, just kind of crushes through its chest and lays it back out, and it just kind of flies backwards and lands with this crunch and is just still in the snow.
Okay. This is the one that. So he takes no damage still.
Right. And then roll your 1d6 corruption.
And then did I hit this one? Did I hit that one?
No, that's the one you missed.
I thought it was this one.
No.
Yeah, you've got one more hit.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay. Yeah. Roll that one. I thought that's who not hit. But 2.
2.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
roll.
this is the one. This is the one that I missed, Gene.
Yeah. Then roll your corruption.
Is it? Did you say a D6?
Yep. That's what it says on the sheet for your 2. All right.
Okay, I'll mark it.
So you take 2 temporary corruption as Girikosh's shield goes around the battlefield. You could probably see it, Laris, as it dropped it and goes pinging around and then comes back to Bo's hand. Bo, you feel corruption. Your lips probably get a little bit black. Your vision wavers a bit, and maybe you have a little bit of filigree of blackness right along your hands as you catch the shield again. You know everyone's in danger because you look behind them, and there's just a load of people.
Yeah. I got a
That
little
was
metallic
amazing.
taste in my little
You
metallic.
just threw
taste in
that
my
dinner
mouth.
plate across the field.
Lear may make your death save.
Mhm.
You go down, Lear May. As you go down, and your blackness overcomes your sight, you just hear your mother's voice. You're never one of us. You were never meant to be that. And that's the last thing you hear as you go unconscious. What does Ferris do?
Okay, so Ferris, as he is wont to do, is going to maneuver to attack the guy that was leader tag, because
Okay.
he's been told that that's often his priority. So he comes here. He swings on that guy. So he's got leader tag, he's got beast lore, so the leader tag is already accounted for. He's got advantage, he does not ignore armor.
Does he want to make a second attack or have him stunned?
No, he always wants him to. He always wants it to die.
Okay. I will put him back on his feet.
Okay. So the first shot was basically a side shot to the knees, which made the creature buckle. And when the creature buckles, he's going to try again.
It's a lot of dice.
Yeah, that feels like too many.
Seems like too many. But Ferris sets him on fire the first time, and he's staggering a little bit, and then he just finishes them off. Helame can just see fire kind of blossom around this misshapen human form in front
She
of her.
claps happily. Fire!
Fire. Lena, you got an arrow sticking in your back, really on the side. You're kind of on your knees. You're pretty hurt. What does Lena do?
Lena will use elixir of life to heal herself.
Okay, that's like a move. That's a move action, elixir, or could be either one. So you take elixir of life. Roll 1d6 to see how much toughness you gain.
And the reason it seems like too many dice, Gene, is because apparently it rolls a d4 for deep impact. It's always a 1, but it still rolls a d4 die for deep impact. That's why it's too many dice.
And then Lena, roll a 1d6 to see how many turns it lasts. Three. All right, so you get 5 points as you suck down that elixir of life. You take 1 temporary corruption this round, and it lasts for 2 more rounds. You still have an action. Would you stay prone and do something else, or would you try to stand?
Lena will try to stand.
Okay, just roll a quick test to see if she can stand without taking, because she's already taken an action. See if she can stand. No. So you kind of stay on your knees, Lena. You try to stand up with that potion, but you can't stand up. You feel that arrow kind of get pushed out. You probably even see it land on the ground at your feet with the bloody from your blood, but you kind of stagger and you can't really stand up. I'm going to roll this one first. They're just going to close because they're still kind of far away. And this one has to take a full round action to stand. So the one that both Knot and Bo hit kind of staggers up to a stand, just barely standing. These other ones just move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 2 of them will attack Ferris as he's standing there. One of them attacks Lena. She's on the ground. Oops, clicked that wrong one. Just kind of shambles forward. Disadvantage.
Are you attacking Ferris a third time?
No. Oh, I had the wrong one. My fault.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me.
That's okay. I thought it was weird. I didn't see anybody surrounding them besides the two that are there. I'm like, third attack, interesting.
No, the last one was on Lena. Let me put the attack on Lena, and then. All right, Lena, it just hits you as you're kind of on the ground. It just barely nicks you across the one shoulder as two others attack Laris. Laris, you just get hit by these bony hands that come down on top of you, just sledgehammer. You're pretty tall though. Just hits you on the right shoulder and the neckline and just kind of collapses on one side. And the others just start moving and running towards you. They don't have enough room to move they just kind of close. Bo, Not, you can see them kind of close around Ferris, Lena, Laris, and Master Emilio. Helame, what do you do?
After Helame claps for the Ferris's fire, she draws some of his fire into her hand and unleashes a torrent at the surrounding whatever creatures.
I have no idea what Helame is going to do, but it should be interesting. I didn't even look at this sheet, so. Oh.
All right, so let's see, because I haven't done this before either.
Which one you doing?
Brimstone Cascade.
Yeah.
At a level.
Okay.
It's like a chain attack also.
Right, so it's just resolute versus quick. And
so if I click the spell, does it do it automatically?
it should. It should, yeah.
Right.
You've got the one targeted, right?
Did it hit?
It did hit. It was just protected by armor. So you didn't miss. You didn't miss, so you could still chain it to the next one. It's just that the Brimstone Cascade probably just comes into being a little bit too close to it and doesn't have enough time to form and just seeks through his body, but it's still in the air, Helame, and you can still direct it to the next one. And
I don't want to be a jerk, but should I point out something?
Is it going to hurt them?
It's not going to help us, unfortunately. Brimstone Cascade, if it hits, does a D12. If it doesn't if you don't beat the test, it does a D6. So it will always do damage, theoretically. But you have to still succeed the test to get to chain it.
Oh, so he failed, but so he didn't chain. Oh, okay. I see now. We haven't used it.
He will always do damage, whether it beats armor or not is another story, but it'll always do at least a D6.
So he can't chain it when he failed the roll originally.
What level is he?
Adept.
He wouldn't be an
Adept.
Ordo. No, you wouldn't be an Ordo guy, would you?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a Pyromancer.
Okay.
She's Ordo. She is Ordo.
Right. Do you have wizardry as an ability?
Yeah.
She has to.
Is it master level or no?
No, it's at the adept.
Okay, because at master level you get to re-roll a failed chain attempt.
Yeah, so
That's why I asked.
Helame, you just hit that one. Maybe you're a little bit too weak and weary from finding yourself in the forest. Brimstone Cascade comes into effect and swirls around him, but just plinks off his armor, and you feel a little bit of sizzling, but it doesn't do what you wish it to do. Not as much fire as Ferris. Does Helame do anything else as she looks around and is in the clear?
So let's see, what else can I do?
move?
No, I think that's it.
All right, you're gonna stay right there.
I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay. Master Emilio, you're behind Laris. You see Lyra May go down. Lena goes to her knees and takes a healing potion. Bo's shield goes bouncing around the enemy and not fires a bolt into one of them. Whispering death rain down arrows. What does Master Emilio do?
Master Emilio kind of he flinches when all the arrows come raining down, and he glances back to see his companions going down, and all the hostiles erupt from the snow. But his main attention is on Leo May,
Okay.
and Emilio rushes out to Leo May and administers an elixir.
Okay. So you move to Lyra May and give him an elixir of life.
Yes,
Okay. Do you want to roll for it? You want Lyra May to roll for
he
it?
can roll for it. He can roll for
Okay.
it.
Lyra May, roll 1d6 to see how many points you get per turn.
Funny as
I'll also give him
learned-
sap. I'll also give him purple sap,
Okay.
moderate purple sap.
And roll 1d6 to see how many turns it lasts. Wow. That's going to be painful. So Lyra May,
Yeah.
you wake up and you just see Master Emilio's thick glasses over you. His eyes look like they're like huge. He's administering a healing potion or a elixir of life. You can taste it in your mouth. It's a little bit of peppermint, a little bit of blueberry. What does Lyra May do is Master Emilio revives him.
He squints, like grimaces, and then is like looking straight up past Emilio and points to the archers and is like, "Get rid of them!"
So you look up to see if you can see one.
Yeah.
Roll vigilant. Yeah, you look past, but you just can't see. Master Emilio is over your body, Lyra May, and you can't see past the short, portly kind of Ordo magician as he's forcing you to finish the last elixir of life.
Emilio will take a look up and see if he could see.
But I think that's a free action. You can roll a vigilant test, Master Emilio. Yeah, neither of you can see it. I think it's just the moment of you healing them, Master Emilio. You can't really see where they are as you're trying to get Lyra May back to his feet. I think that ends Master Emilio's turn, correct?
Yes, end of turn.
Okay. Laris, you're a bit wounded. You took a bit of a shock there. You got this huge horned beastman in front of you and this other smaller ravaging beastman to his left. Lena is on her knees next to you. What does Laris do?
first of all, I'm going to see if I can see what the hell's shooting us, if that's okay.
Sure, you can roll vigilant. Wow.
I sense everything.
He sees
I am
them all.
one with the force.
Yeah, I think with the one, like I really have to give you a one. If you roll a run, you do see all three archers. You look around there, and they're in these three positions, two on either side of Master Emilio and Lyra May, and one kind of in the rear that shot Lena, who's now covered really by bodies. They're kind of high in the trees. They're probably 30 feet or 10 meters. Like they climbed up. You see them on these big, broad limbs, and they're short. They're like as tall as Master Emilio, but they're thinner, and they are completely clothed in black, and they got these small, short, black kind of bows. And the only thing you really see is the white fletching of the arrows. They're like stars in the night sky. When they shoot them, that's all you see. They kind of fly down at you. As you look up, Laris, and you see them, what do you do?
I'm going to try to get information about them with a beast lore roll, and I fail. Do they seem like they're cultural beings?
Well, yeah, they got a humanoid shape.
Okay, so I will describe roughly where they are and say I think they're the kind I trained you to fight, and I'm going to leader tag somebody. I think.
Okay.
I really, really want to leader tag an archer, but I realize it feels like not a lot of people seem to know where they're at. So I think instead I have to leadership tag the Sass Clown. Because if he doesn't die soon, I will. So we leader tag.
The big one?
We leader tag Captain Mick Smashy Pants.
Right, the one that's south of you.
Right.
Okay. So you look up in the trees and you see the archers. You start yelling out, especially take out this one who's about to kill me, please. Not you're in the clear, really. And you probably hear Laris start pointing out the archers in the tree. You're almost directly below one. There's one in the trees to your right and one across the field up in front of you as you're looking back. You've watched Bo's shield go banging around. What does not do?
What does leadership tag do?
It's an extra D4 to all my allies. Everybody in the party but me gets an extra D4 damage against that target if they hit.
Which target did you do?
This guy right kind of in the middle of the group.
Yeah.
One with horns on his head. The one that's next to the guy with the purple dot.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Or blue, I guess. Blue, purple. Game will automatically add the D4, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. I guess these archers are probably the most immediate threat, right? For everyone on board.
Everything is an immediate threat.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if anyone could see the archers very well, so I pointed out where they were and figured I'd start leader tagging after this guy that can beat my armor goes down. Because, if that guy who can pass through armor passes through the only real defense I have, I can't leader tag anybody anymore.
Okay.
Seeing how you're the only free person, because most of us are kind of like in melee, you probably are.
You get to decide who the hell you want to shoot. That's what it comes down to.
All right, so let's shoot this one right here.
Okay.
The one closest to me. I'll do the switcheroo thing. And switch out my quarterstaff for my longbow. Oops, wrong section. Longbow. This time I'll click ignore armor. And give it a fire.
You get an extra D4 you can add to your modifier.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, nice.
So Goblin, how did you learn to do that? What does it look like?
So, as soon as, what's his name? Laris points in that direction, Nat kind of thought something was there, but he thought it was a bird. He's like, oh, aim at the bird. So, you'll start running this way, like a little bit closer over here, so you get a better angle at him. Then he'll like jump, spin, and do like a 180 shot. Let it fly, and not even looking at it, knew that it was like aimed true. And then try to get the attentions of the other two. Hey, I'm still over here, and then run back here.
He's trying to get the attention of the archer.
No. Basically the archers and like these guys.
Ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't have a skill to do that, right?
No. I mean, what skill would that be?
You can roll persuasion. I'm going to see what happens. I mean, they have orders. Okay. They have no idea. This archer, you hit him, and he just tips out of the tree and comes tumbling down and lands on the ground in the snow. He or she was about as tall as you are, but lands at the foot of the tree, unmoving as you yell at them. But the beasts really have eyes forward. You can tell the way they're looking. They're looking at Lear May and Master Emilio. And as you're running, you look up and you see them target. You actually see this far one's arrow come out. You can't hear it as you're running, but you see it as it flies down towards Master Emilio and Lear May. Now Lear May still on the ground, kind of covered by Master Emilio, but it is what it is. And Master Emilio, you don't even see it. It just comes, you hear it murmur past your ear and land in the ground next to Lear May. Wow. Yep.
You see another one?
No. You don't. He's a little bit too covered, a little bit too far. The only one the other one can really shoot at because of the bodies is not Laris and Lena. They're kind of covered. Lena's on her knees and can't really shoot. There's no line of sight he has even from the trees down on him. His only two targets are Not, who just dropped one from the tree, and Helame. And I think he's going to shoot at the other archer. Not as you're running.
Oh, is that me?
Yep.
Okay.
And so all you can do is hit resist, and it'll roll it for you. Ah. You're nimble, Not. You're nimble. It just skits past you. See it hit a tree right next to you. But it completely misses you as you running through the forest and drop one at the other one. Maybe you tuck behind a tree, get a little bit of cover, and are just kind of standing there against the edge.
He's like, "It's working, Master. Just like you said. Just keep moving."
Bo.
Can we hear him talk?
You probably could hear it. You could probably hear him yelling, or I don't know if his voice is kind of high.
He's not quiet about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's talking.
He's pretty excited.
Emilio looks around for some other person.
Yeah, it's just Not. He has an invisible friend called Master, maybe. Bo.
So, question.
Uh-huh.
These two, are they paying any attention to the goblin, or do I think
No.
that they're focused up here?
Yeah, they're focused on Master Emilio and Lear May. Not try to get their attention, but you know, they're completely not looking his direction.
Okay.
Okay. So, who else do you tag with that?
Well, it failed.
Oh, it failed. That's what it means. Stays in darkness. Okay.
Yep.
You try to clasp Blessed Shield, Bo, and it's just chaos in battle. Does Bo stay in his present position?
You would continue to shift,
Okay.
hoping to try to get these guys' attention, although, like you said, he thinks that they're not focused on anyone except these two.
Your name was last, Bo.
Yeah.
If it was maybe Master...
He's insulted by that.
He's insulted what Degoi said, yeah. Don't worry about Bo. Take him out last.
Well, the one he said don't worry about was Emilio.
Yeah. He said, "Don't worry about Emilio."
You can swat, right? You can swat him aside.
Yeah.
He said gang up on
You could
Bo.
ignore the Ordo guy.
All right, Lear May, you're on your, you probably are just sitting up, and Master Emilio is finishing giving you the elixir of life. You see an arrow fly right by you, and embed in the ground by your leg. You look south and you see Laris and Lena and the new noble woman Helame in combat. You probably hear Not yelling to his master. What does Lear May do?
I am going to try and stand up
Okay.
because I don't really want to be on the ground. And I can.
So you stand up with your move action, or one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Then let's see if I can manage to cast a spell successfully.
Here he comes.
all right.
Right. And then we are going to dart into the crowd so that I have a bit more cover from all of the archers.
Yeah, I think if you put yourself in danger here, or put yourself in danger here, the archers really don't have a line of sight. They're going to have to move a little bit.
I'm
be
put myself in danger here.
okay. I mean, they're be at disfavor really to hit you, Lear May, because you're inside. I think they may still shoot at you, but they'll be at disfavor, which is much better. So you stand up, light off Krios's hammer, and move to bracket on the other side. What does Ferris do, Laris?
Well, Ferris is annoyed that he can't get to the leadership target. He realizes that eventually dumbass Laris is going to have to teach him acrobatics. But that's for another day. So he's just going to be annoyed with these two hulking, horn-headed jackanapes. And he's going to sweep at one of them.
Okay.
I think he'll sweep at the outer one because, you know, it just feels... The other one has more of the benefit of the shield, so he's going to go for the one that shield is a little harder to intervene with. Weapon... Master Astak. Doesn't ignore armor. Doesn't at advantage. Does all that. Oh yeah, the last die is the number of rounds for burning. That's why there's so many dice.
Right. So you hit him with your flaming sword, and this purple, black blood just sprays out. And as he starts on fire, Ferris needs to make a defense roll. Or just succeed at one. I think you could just roll your field armor. I think. Or quick.
Yep, because...
Okay. So the acidic blood just hits Ferris, but, you know, Ferris's fire just boils it off before it has chance to tarnish the armor. Does Ferris do anything else?
Oh, he would like to, but he hadn't been given instructions to move, so he's not moving yet.
All right. Lena, you could use a move and action to stand, because you tried to stand last round. So you can use one movement action to stand if you want. What does Lena do?
Lena will try to stand.
Yeah, so I think you can use, because you tried last round, so I think you can use your movement action to stand if you want. You don't have to roll quick, because it essentially took 2 actions for you to stand. We just spread it over 2 turns. So Lena stands with her movement action, or one of her actions. What does she do with the next one?
Lena will attack.
Okay. Lear May, make sure you give yourself 5 more hit points and no corruption for this turn. I didn't see it on your sheet, so I was just reminding you. You don't take any corruption because you took purple sap. So. Or
Yep.
okay.
I would need to. The purple sap is like.
Yeah, you roll
another
1d6.
elixir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would need to take that in a couple of turns
Oh, okay.
when corruption becomes a problem.
All right. So
So I will add a point of temporary corruption for this round's healing.
right. Lena, you fire off those arrows, and you just see this huge Beast Clan Guardian just kind of go to its knees as both arrows hit him on either side as you stand and fire off between the two. This warrior collapses on Lirme. Go ahead.
No, never mind.
Okay. And attacks. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Long Weapon
Sure.
Property.
Do that first because he doesn't have much hit points, so hopefully you can put him down.
Doesn't have many hit points.
He
15
tries to
damage.
stand. He tries to approach you, Lirme, but misses. Let's see. Right. So this one closes on you too. And this one just attacks you.
Bastard.
Lirme, do you want to go prone or do you want him to attack you again?
I mean, that was a statistically average damage thing. What we got next? Yeah, let's go prone.
Okay, so he knocked you to your feet, knocks you to your knees, Lirme, as you probably are swirling back around to him as you are attacking at all angles. He just hits you, kind of slices down through the side of your head and hits you with the flat of the blade, and it just kind of concusses you a little bit, and you dip down to your knees as it moves. Helame, you are standing. You can see Ferris flaming in front of you. You've tried to throw fire, but it didn't quite work last time. What does Helame do?
We'll try again. She cackles some more, even though it didn't work. Well, let me still hit.
Yeah, just... There you go. Okay.
All right, and then
So
we'll
you
go to the
chain it.
next one.
Mhm. Right, so you chain it through one. You hit one and wrap it back around Lirme and just hit the second one, but then the brimstone cachet just kind of crackles apart and dissipates. Does Helame stay in her position?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm trying. If I move between this one guy, would that give advantage?
If you move here, it would give advantage.
Right,
to-
right.
To
That's what I was
Lena.
asking.
Well, to Lena. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could make it here and give Ferris advantage. You can make it, 6 places, a lot of places. You could make it here and give Learme and Laris advantage, because you got 6 hexes to move. So you could
No,
give
no,
a
I
lot.
gotta help out the female in the party.
Yeah, you could definitely move here and give Lena advantage.
Plus, I get to stand next to Ferris.
Right.
He's warm and cuddly.
Learme is still alive, so this one moves towards you, Learme, as you're on the ground, and attacks you with these huge hands that just end in this spiked kind of like club mass of bone. I don't believe, get to do that, but
It's being prone doesn't
okay.
stop me from doing it, which is why I went prone rather than down. But I rolled. I assumed.
You missed.
Tristan, is it disfavor if you're prone, or
I don't know actually. I've almost never had to attack while prone.
It would be at least a disadvantage, but
well, that is if it's disadvantage, then that hit. Otherwise, a whiff.
Yeah.
And you can flail into me.
All right. You try to strike at him, and your weapon just goes right past him, maybe underneath his legs, and you look up and you just see it come crashing down on you, Learme. Well, it must have been enough to take him off his balance, really, and he misses you as he attacks. Ooh, wrong thing. Hit the wrong thing. Errant click. That one didn't die. And Helame, roll I'll roll 1d6 to see if it's Helame or Ferris. 1 to 3 is Helame. Huh? They attack Helame as you take up position. This other one attacks you as you're trying to help out. Of course, I got more than one selected. You just look up past Ferris's burning armor at this huge thing above you as you take a position to try to help the other female, Lena. Well, misses. The other one attacks Ferris.
As Helame dodges that wild swing from it, she's like, "You're ugly. Get away!"
She's not wearing armor. They both miss. I think Helame is just throwing him off, throwing him off guard there. She takes up position. And that this one stands on its turn. This one, you want to roll burning damage, Laris? I think we forgot the one that's burning.
Oh, sorry, Gene. I forgot something.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on just a second. Let me check.
Yeah, we didn't forget the first guy that burned died before
Oh, okay.
burning mattered. This would have been the first time burning would have mattered.
I know, we're good. So you didn't hit me, so it didn't make a difference.
All right. The other one attacks Laris because he's still there. And Learme is on the ground. Oops. Laris, that one was at you.
Oh, sorry. Thought you said Laramie, my bad.
It's okay. I figured you probably didn't hear me. And he hits you again, Laris, almost dropping you. You're kind of teetering there. You're bleeding. You probably fractured your right clavicle. Your breath is pretty heavy. You're just, tottering on your knees a bit, but you're still standing, just barely. And the last one just advances on Lirame as he's still on the ground.
Heyo. Where's that last one? Okay. Shall I roll it this favor again, or -2?
I would just do disadvantage this time. We'll see how it works.
I mean, if I hit, it tends to go one way.
Disfavor next time, dang it. Disfavor. Master Emilio, you revived Lirame. You look about the battlefield. You probably hear Not talking to his master on the far end. Laris has shown the two archers in the trees. One of them has fallen out of the tree by an expert shot by Not. What does Master Emilio do?
Can Emilio see the archers?
I think so, yeah. I think
All right, so he's gonna do his thing. Get one of the archers.
Right, Lirame, you did uncover yourself. All right. Master Emilio, what would you have him do on his turn?
He's gonna have the archer dive straight to the ground, head first.
Okay.
From the
Not
trees.
attack the other archer?
He's gonna have him jump.
I'll get the other guy next.
Laris, you're tucked in there with Lirame. You're not quite surrounded, but not necessarily in a great position. You're battered and bruised and pretty hurt. What does Laris do?
Do I have advantage on this guy in the middle?
I believe so. Yeah, Lirame is on the other side.
Okay, well.
And he's got Lena on one side too.
Yeah. I hate attacking my own leadership targets because I don't get the benefit. So, but I also hate being on the ground.
You can tell that the one above him is a little bit worse off. He's bigger and looks a little bit healthy. Yeah, so they're pretty close in health, but he's a little bit worse, yeah. Which mechanically is like 1 point worse. But.
I'll go ahead and smack this guy with my dagger.
The guy with the acidic blood, right?
No, that one, the one up top doesn't have the acidic blood. The only one that does is the ones on the bottom. And I forgot to have you roll against it, but such it is. Yeah, you missed, Laris. You're staggered on your legs. You just got a little bit left of blood in you, and you probably swing wildly at it. Does Laris do anything else?
He just shakes his head.
Weirdly. Blood coming out of one ear, out of one of the nostrils. Not, you're into farce.
I will give some instructions to Ferris, though.
Okay. Not, you're into farce. You dropped one of the archers from the tree with your crossbow. You know where the other ones. You look internally, and combat is still going on, but it's shifting in favor of the company a little bit. Where it looked pretty bad at the beginning, but it's shifting a little bit in their favor. What does Not do?
All right, I'm gonna try to pull again. I'll do the same technique. I'll run over here.
Okay.
I'll fire at the archer, and if I can, try to do a persuade to try and pull at least this guy right here.
Sure. The one that's close. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll fire first. My longbow.
Oh no.
Not good. Not working.
Yeah, I just see you flub the string. Still got the arrow in your hand.
You're like, oh. That didn't work. But let me try to.
You let go of the
I
wrong
guess-
end, the bow comes rushing to your face.
Yeah. I like stumble, like I hit a rock or something. Stumble a little bit, but I'm still moving. And you said persuade?
Yeah. See if you dragged them off. They just
Not
can't.
good either.
Just can't get it. Like they're focused right on Lear May. You know, they're highly focused on Lear May. These huge things with horns out. He just kind of stands up. He probably sees you and ignores you a little bit. Not. Do you stay in your position at present?
Yeah, I already moved my spot.
Okay. Master Emilio, you just see this one like tip forward and just take a dive off the tree from 30 feet, 10 meters, straight into the ground. You just hear him crunch and dive down into the ground, the one you took care of. The other one has a clear shot at Lear May now, but Lear May is still on the ground. So it is at disadvantage as Lear May is down, but he lines up Lear May because that's what his chieftain wants him to do. Were you
Lying down on the ground has worked.
You were worried, right? He just missed you too, like by one. Whew.
That is the disadvantage kicking in.
Right. Disadvantage saved you, Lear May, from taking more damage. The arrow probably buries itself in the ground next to you as you're on the ground there before everyone. Bo, what do you do?
Is this guy still standing?
Yep, he's still up.
Okay. I'll charge him with my sword.
Okay. You go running across the battlefield.
Yep.
Does it sound like Yegvena's cry, or is it a proper cry? We're mixing games.
Yeah. He probably is silent. He's too dignified to yell on the battlefield.
Right. All business. Bo is all business. Huh. He quietly moves, like Lear May's on the ground and doesn't make a sound, and skewers him with his fencing sword.
What's the extra 1d8 for?
For Iron Fist at master level.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Bo, you slide across the snow. You know, there's maybe an inch or two of soft snow that had been falling earlier in the day, and come to Lear May's aid. Lear May, you're still on your knees before these huge things. You know you got all of their attention. An arrow just lands next to you. What does Lear May do?
I'm going to see if I can stand up.
Okay.
Okay, great.
All right, so you stand up with your movement action.
And I'm going to take advantage of the leadership tag.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
Right, now I've been forgetting, but make a quick test as you lay into this huge thing and its acidic blood goes spraying everywhere to avoid getting hit by it. Yeah, it just kind of misses you. It probably lands on your armor and sizzles, goes through your hair, maybe burns off a little bit, a piece of it. You shake it off in the snow and you can see it kind of steam up as it falls away. Does Lear May do anything else?
Shuffle. Oh no, I've used my movement to stand up.
Stand up, right. Ferris, what does... Go ahead.
Recover 5 points of...
Yeah, you get 5 points and a temporary corruption.
Yep.
Okay. Laris, what did you have Ferris do? You were going to give it orders?
Yep. So I told him to strike the one that he didn't make burning. So, did you apply to 3? So
I did.
Burning damage. Okay, so that was already rolled. So
Yep.
he's going to switch targets because he was told to switch targets. Not sure if this is necessarily the best, but I figure,
He's going to set the one in front of Helame on fire, which will make her giddy.
Helame's going to like. Yep.
Right.
Damage, an extra D4. Impact doesn't armor.
Make a quick test as you pummel it down and set it on fire all at once. Probably hew right through it. Its blood kind of sprays everywhere at you and just lands on Ferris. But before it can really eat into the armor, it just kind of boils away. Helame can probably see it hit him in steam and snap, crackle, pop, but the acidic blood of the Guardian doesn't really do any damage to you, to Ferris. Does Ferris stay in position?
Yep.
All right.
He wasn't instructed to move, and there's still an opponent, so he's going to stand there.
Lena. What does Lena do?
Lena will use her rapid fire and attack 2 different enemies.
Okay. Once you're on a roll, everyone's on a roll. Lena, you fire off those 2 arrows at the Beast Clan. It's too far, though. Even though its blood sprays out, there's no one around him, really, to do any damage. Does Lena stay in her position?
Yeah.
Okay. Which leads us to this one. 1 to 3 is Lena, and 4 to 6 is Helame. Lena, the one between you and Helame attacks you. It raises up its bony, kind of long taloned hands. And just completely misses you. Swipes by you as you probably pull back as you shoot that last arrow and misses the Helame. You're standing between Lena. You're right next to Ferris. He just cuts one in half and sets it on fire. What does Helame do?
Helame swings her sword at the one between me and Lena.
She has a sword. What does she look like when she's fighting? This noble woman.
I imagine she's probably the most wildest. She's barbarian-like when she swings a sword, but when she's casting magic, it's kind of like noble-ish.
Yeah, magic is proper, but swinging a sword is just completely at a, swinging all widely.
Yep. It's a miracle she hits.
Yeah, that wild swing just probably catches it, its attention on Lena. Helame swings wildly, and the other one attacks, that's next to Learmay, attacks him as he rises up.
Oh, phew.
And completely misses.
Oh, I gotta add another D4 there, Gene.
Okay, go ahead.
No, never mind. I'm still trying to get used to the character. It doesn't count.
And burning damage.
Yeah, I was just about to roll that, Gene.
Yeah, before it attacks. Oh, it just crumples. the last bit of burning damage Lairs of Ferris did to it, you see it kind of try to attack and kind of staggers forward and then just lands in this kind of burning mound right next to Ferris. Master Emilio, you had one of the archers dive from the treetops. You can see the last archer in the trees high above you.
He's gonna bend well. Try to bend well on the last guy.
Okay.
Last archer.
Woo!
Whoa.
Master Emilio, what are you going to have that last archer do?
I'm gonna have him shoot one of the guys on the
Right here?
shoot this guy.
Okay. On his turn. All right. You take control of him and you see his aim shift from Laramie. You just see him raise his bow and then he turns and angles it a different way as you instruct him what to do. Lairs, you finally got a bit of breathing space due to Laramie and bow. You're a bit staggered, a bit weak in your knees. What does Lairs do?
Okay, so let me think. I know I heard Master Amelia, doing something wicked. He
Yeah.
just didn't bother to, indicate who his target was. So I'm now going to finally leader target the archer because he's probably the most dangerous person on the field from my perspective.
Sure. You might not know
And-
the malignancy of Master Emilio.
No, I knew he probably did bend will because it's his go-to for sure,
Right.
and I've seen him do it.
You
but
might notice
I
it.
didn't know who he did it to. Is the
You
problem?
might-
He's behind me.
You might have seen that other archer just walk out of the trees and take a header. That would be reasonable too. Fall out of the trees without any damage. So it's possible Lairs would know. But you could
Okay,
leader
so
tag down.
which of the two ground guys is the least injured?
Oh, the one in front of Laramie. He's like completely hale.
He's completely
Pale. Undamaged.
right. No,
right?
no. I just thought you said pale for a second. I'm like, does that mean? And then I'm like, oh no, you said hail. Okay, well, he gets a surprise in his stocking for Christmas.
It's called a sword.
And does Lair stay in that position or does he move?
Hell no. I went to help Emilio. Emilio left, and I got smashed around for it. So instead, I'm going to help surround the guy who's not leader tagged.
Okay. That
This
seems
is what you get. This is how you can feel.
seems reasonable. Not you flubbed your last kind of shot. You still got that arrow in your hand. You probably aren't aware of what Master Emilio's doing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna follow up with. I don't think I would notice.
Not really. You know that Archer's up there, you know these two are here, even though you tried to shoot at them before. I don't know if Not would know that. If you wanted, you could play it however you want. You could roll vigilant and see if you recognize them switching shots. Not's an archer too, so but it depends on it. You can play it any way you want, really.
I think roleplay wise, sorry Emilio, I don't think he would know.
That's fine. Just play
Yeah.
your character. It's all
Yeah.
cool.
So, and in fact, I think he would be kind of pissed that he missed that shot. He's like, I followed everything. Why did it work? And he'll kind of like put away the arrow. He'll
Break
take
that
out his
one?
crossbow. Take out his crossbow and like step on like the bottom part of it and pull the crossbow up so it would charge. I'll use my movement to charge the crossbow.
Yeah.
And then I'll replace the arrow for a bolt. And
Okay.
I'll like take steady aim and try to fire this time.
All right. Yeah, you can't go prone in the trees. I'm gonna do
Man,
it.
it's called falling.
You called falling. I'm going. I think he would still be I think it's a reflex. I still will give him a quick test, even though he's under the control of Master Emilio. Master Emilio has given him a order, and I think he still would try to catch himself. So I do a quick test, otherwise he falls out of the tree.
He would still try to defend himself.
Right. I think he doesn't make his quick test notch. You hit him with this arrow, and you see him, cartwheel a little bit and try to grab out, and then he just falls 30 feet, 10 meters from the tree. That's far enough for him as that bolt, he's still kind of grabbing the limbs as he comes crashing down to the ground and lands, pretty close to you. Still, you hear him crack on the ground, and you take him out. Does not do anything else.
Yeah, he kind of raises his crossbow. I did it! And he kind of hugs it. I did it! And he kind of points at everyone. Did you see that?
I'm sure Master Emilio saw it. Master Emilio may have to keep eye contact with him I'm sure he sees him, like, just as he tells him what to do, you knock him out of the tree. Do you stay in your present position or you move?
Yeah, I'll switch to my quarterstaff. Oh no, I already moved.
Oh yeah, you already did your.
Charged my card. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That can't do anything.
Yeah, Bo, you're in the clear. There's broken bodies around you of these misshapen beast kind of barbarians.
Take a couple strides over and try to attack this one.
Okay. Guys are rolling lots of dice all of a sudden. What does Lear May see, Bo? You stride in quietly to the other one. Did you do the same with this one?
Yeah, but he lunges like you would in fencing and strikes him in the jugular.
Right through his neck.
Yeah.
It looks good. It's good form, Bo, though, as a noble would have. You look. It's a flare. I don't know if Helame could see it from where she is, but noble to noble, if I was there, I'd probably look pretty. Lear May, Bo takes out your last. You shift
Gina,
over. Go ahead.
That's not the one that had acid blood, is it?
Let me look. Yes, it is. Just roll a
quick
test. Yeah, you could hit quick there. And then I'll have to. You dance away from the blood, Bo, just as Lear May kind of steps forward to you, Lear May. What do you do to that last one?
I like to imagine that, like, Bo lunges in, like, hooks the last one in place, and then Lear May uses his falling corpse kind of like a step ladder to get a bit of extra height, and just from the top ropes, cleaving the last one in twain.
Yeah, you just cleave it in half, and you could see Helame across from you. You're looking straight at her. Bo's behind you. You should roll your temporary corruption.
It's just 1 point, which puts me at 5. So now that everyone's dead, I'm probably going to have to take that purple sap.
Right. And quiet settles on Davokar for a moment. Knock, you're out there. Go ahead.
The creatures that they had armor on them?
The beast warriors, they had like this rough hide, not really armor. Like it was part of their skin was changed with pieces of armor, pieces of leather, pieces of stone in it. So they weren't wearing armor itself.
Okay.
The bestial warriors, like the other smaller ones, they had kind of like leather armor on.
Okay.
But the big guys, it was just the way they were built. archers didn't really have armor. They had leather armor too, or small armor. So
Do you
go ahead.
do you track arrows and bolts in
Not really.
your campaign? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we have hard enough time tracking Thaler half the time.
Okay.
By which you mean you have hard enough time getting Thaler.
Right. Quiet settles on Davokar. You all look at each other as Learmay takes out this last one, kind of cuts it in two, realizing that it could have ended up far worse if you had been surprised or ambushed or couldn't find the archers. And then you hear the mockingjay, the mockingbird, start to trill through a couple of stolen songs that's stolen from other birds, things it's learned. It goes from one to the next and one and breaks that silence. And you see it kind of drop out of a tree and wing and turn sideways and then fly out up towards the north in the direction you were going. As the party's standing there, what do you do?
How late is it?
It's still probably 11, almost noon. It's not late. In reality, this didn't take that long, but
Maybe we should rest and recoup a bit.
Is anyone injured?
That feels great.
Yeah.
Not I.
Yeah.
Neil was injured. This is amazing.
there is
was-
some injured.
Definitely
Oh, yeah.
injured.
Right. Well then, Emilio, thank you for letting me make use of this. Lero chugs back that purple sap. And mutters a prayer to Prios. So everyone recovers 2 points of 6 points of toughness for one round.
That's a lot.
6 points of
It is a
toughness
lot.
for one round. Not you go and probably check the archers, I would expect.
Yeah, I'm mostly looking for my arrows back.
Right. Why don't you roll me a 1d12? We will track this, though. Whatever you roll. Oh, that's terrible.
Roll higher.
I thought lower was better.
Not.
Right? That's a crit, right?
You find one armor-piercing arrow left. The others must have broke when the archers fell out of the tree, but you find one black arrow with white fletching and a narrow ellipse, kind of dark metal arrowhead on it without tangs, but all the rest are broken. You know that arrow will pierce any armor, but you only have one of them.
So I'll bring it to the other archer, and I'll be like, "Hey, I found this. You want it?"
What are you offering her?
I think it was Lena, right? The other archer. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I found
Yeah.
this. You want it? It
She
looks
has
sharp."
master.
Oh, she has master also?
Yeah.
Does anyone want this? And I just wave it around.
Emilio will like go through the bodies and try to see if they have any like written items, any written materials.
Yeah, you don't find anything, Master Emilio. You do know when you look at them that they're barbarian stock. Their features are distorted. They have bony growths and extended arms. They've been changed.
Does he know how? Could he tell how?
Master Emilio probably with Lore Master would know, as he's the Master Lore Master, that there are spells that can craft and flesh change things. They can add and subtract things from individuals, and that's what these barbarians have done to themselves. They've been changed to be fighters and frontline warriors. Their faces are disfigured. They have horns. Their skin has been thickened and embedded with different things to give them armor. Their hands and arms end in, spike clubs and long talons. And Master Emilio would know that this is witchery work, spell work.
Well, if they have any like supplies they could use, we could just take them, like especially food and water.
Yeah, you don't
Probably
really.
don't.
You find nothing unless you want to eat them.
You did 12, Laramie? I thought it was 6.
Yeah, it was for 2 rounds.
Oh, okay. Well, that puts me at full then, I think.
Me as well.
12
just barely,
total,
though.
right?
Yeah, 12 total.
12 total.
I
Yeah,
started
he's
at
our
4.
paladin.
That's 16. Yep, I'm full.
All right, press forward.
All right. What we'll do is take like a 5-minute break since that was kind of a bit long.
Sounds good.
People get a drink, OP, that sort of thing. And
Okay.
Good combat, guys.
when
Way to
you're
go.
I've been
when you're back, just put back
Good-
in the
good hustle.
chat. Okay, so you're in the forest and the misshapen warriors and guardians ambush you. And you luckily survive. You catch your breath as the forest is quiet. There's a light snow. It's probably noon. It's still cold, but Lyrame's magic and rejuvenation washes over everyone. Laris gets the biggest benefit, perhaps as the most wounded, although Lyrame could easily have died without Master Emilio giving him a elixir of life. What does the company do at this point?
Press forward.
Press forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, these abominations clearly came from somewhere. They've got no food or
Yeah, did we
anything
hit?
like that, and although they
Did the
yeah.
did the group hit the ENR River?
No, you're not that far. You're not, your icons are that, but you're really inside Davokar, outside of Thistle Hold. You're probably, more around here. You don't know exactly because you were underground and you pop out. You have a sense of where Davokar is, and you're north of Thistle Hold, roughly 2 hours underground. So you're somewhere around this edge, perhaps. Somewhere over here, somehow within Davokar. Eonor is, almost a full day and a half travel, almost 2 days travel from Thistle Hold. So you haven't really reached the Eonor itself. The thing. Who's in the lead?
Nat would be in the lead.
Nat, you're leading the party through the forest. They're laid out behind you. They're probably a little bit more wary than they were, but you miss the ambush. And as Nat is in the lead, he sees an arrow stuck in the ground and the white fletching of whispering death. He knows that arrow because he just picked up one, but in through the trees, as he knows it's kind of going to open up because he can kind of see more light, like it's going to thin out and enter a meadow of some nature. But before he does it, these huge trees on the other side, he sees this arrow sticking in the ground. He's maybe, I don't know, however far he is in front of the party, 18 feet, 9 meters, 27 feet. But as he's moving forward, he sees this single arrow stuck in the ground, straight up with the white fletching.
Can I try to survey the area?
Sure, what does
Maybe
he
it's a
do?
warning. Maybe it's a trap.
What does Nat do?
Yeah, just survey the area before I walk over and pick up the arrow itself?
Yeah,
It looks like a good
you
arrow.
stop maybe and look
Mhm.
left and right and forward and maybe even nervously back at the rest of the group. You scan out as far as you can see in the forest to your right and left and forward, and it's quiet. A light snow falls and you can hear it. You don't hear anything else. You don't see anything else as far as you can see, Nat. Your vision is pretty good. It's not hazy. It's cold and early winter.
I say, "Look, I found another arrow," and I'll just walk over there and just pluck it.
All
You're
right.
good at that. Goblin, you're good at that.
Yes, thank you.
Master, are you close to him,
Let's
Master
keep going.
Mealy?
Master Mealy will look at these arrows, try to
Yeah, it's just
learn
a-
something.
Yeah, it's just a single black arrow. The arrow itself is completely black wood. It has a ellipse of a arrowhead on it that's just hardened steel that's blackened and bright white fletching, really.
Does he know? Can he tell anything about its origins? Who makes it?
Not really. He hasn't really seen them before. I mean, Lena and Not, it just looks like it's, a really well-made arrow. Arrows that puncture armor have to be stout and hardwood, and the head of them has to be like that. Very narrow, very tight, no tangs on it, anything like that. As you're standing there, Master Emilio, you just feel the snow on your bald head, but you don't know anything else about the arrow aside from its make.
Well, now we've got a second one.
That's right. I can count 2. That's 2, right?
Yes.
Helame pats the goblin on the head. Very good.
I did it. And he keeps going.
Helame, make a vigilant roll. Yeah. You don't see it either. So you keep walking. You walk past the trees and you enter this kind of meadow. There's a dead fire, or what looks like there was a fire, a couple fires around, trampled kind of dirt and early snow. There's snow over it, though, so it's been a while since it's been occupied, and you don't see anything else in the clearing. You figure there's a lot of people that were in the meadow at one point, but they have since left. If anyone touches the fire, it's no longer warm. It's been cold for a while.
Ooh, there was a fire?
There was a fire. Helame.
Okay, so...
Yeah,
what
I
is
think it was here.
Trials of Ashes? Oh, I
Okay.
gotta pull it up. Give me a second.
I have no idea what Trials of Ashes is.
Sorry,
Trails.
Tales of Ashes.
Tails.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
there we
a
go.
cool spell. That's a cool
It is.
ritual.
So what does Helame do?
So it says you can read the ashes of a burnt object, or thereby discern the object was once what it was, or whatever. The mystic experiences all impressions from the fire, sees whose was there, and hears what was said. So, and then it just says campfire has much to tell.
Okay. So what happens, Helame? What do you do?
I think she goes, "Ooh, a fire," or campfire, and then she like sits down, places her hands right into the ash, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then starts chanting. Maybe her eyes roll into the back of her head as she, relives the fire's knowledge.
And it's not a ritual, so it's just a spell, like she casts.
No,
Right.
it's a ritual.
Oh, so it takes a little time.
Wait,
It's an hour. It takes an hour.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a ritual.
Okay. Do you Do you just plop down there and put your hands and your eyes roll back in your head, or do you actually tell everyone what you're doing?
Oh no, she just does that. She just sits down in front of the fire or the ash of the campfire, thrusts her hands into it. She says a few things, and then her eyes roll back in her head as she does this ritual.
All right. Nobles, Bo. Nobles. What do you make of this
What's-
woman?
What's wrong with her? I bet
What?
it's the drugs.
She's putting her hand in those ashes.
He has a mental affliction.
Master Emilio may know what she's doing. Master of Lore Master.
He
I would
explains. He explains. I think she's doing a ritual. She could tell things from the ashes.
Yeah, but does she have to get her hands dirty?
I don't know. But it does take an hour, so
Sure.
maybe we'll rest.
So you all like set a watch and sit around Helame as she performs this ritual Tale of Ashes.
Yeah.
All right, Helame.
I'll
You're-
like wander the perimeter.
Okay. Helame, your eyes roll back and you feel warm, which is the fire inside you. The fire itself, this campfire, and you are there when it's born. Just a flint. You're that spark off the iron and off the rock, and you see yourself flare up and land on the tinder and then come to life. And your vision at first is just full of things that you don't understand, Helame, because you are that fire. You're surrounded by people. You hear language for the first time, and from a fire's perspective, it sounds different. It's not crackling and not loud and not popping. And eventually you kind of understand it. You see this emaciated group of old people and young people around you trying to get warm, and you flare as much as you can because you want to give off your heat. And then you see this naked man before you with his hands and feet tied behind him, and he's on his side facing you, and sitting on him, or with her taloned feet on him, or this female with wings. You're not really sure what that means, but you hear them talk back and forth, and you understand them because you've been alive and alight for quite some time. And you hear their names: Lirame, Master Emilio, Lena, Bo, Laris. You understand them as fire and as Helame because you've met these people. You see the magpie peck out one of Degoi's eyes, and then you see them leave. And then there's just commotion. People moving, yelling, and shouts, and snow falling above you. And eventually, quiet for a while. It's just you and this naked man and this woman with black wings and shallow cheekbones and big brown eyes. And you're starting to diminish. You're not being fed. Your flame starts to gutter. There's just a little bit left of you, and you try as you might to form out, and there's just a little bit of you left. You're just gray coals that flare now and then, and your vision comes in little spots of blackness and light, and you see the naked man before you and the winged figure, and then you're in darkness again, and you flare again as the wind maybe hits the coals and lights you up, and you try to struggle back to being fire again before your last of your light goes out. And you see a magpie land again, start to sing songs that have stolen from other birds, and you can see as you're flaring in the coals the anger on this woman's face, and she pulls a long black knife from the ground next to her as you're just starting to gutter out, and she reaches down to the man that you see and you just see her start from the top of his head right here and just peel it back, and then you go out. One last gutter. There's nothing around you, really, Elame, but you're looking out at these tall trees in the distance that are 90 feet tall or 30 meters high, and in that last little gutter of coal that you have left, you see him hanging there in the sky, spread out, hands down, no skin but that on his face, and he's been tied up somehow 90 feet in the air. And then you, as the fire, fade existence, and you are done. Your eyes kind of flitter a little bit and flutter and roll back, and you open your eyes, and you're sitting there while everyone's around you and they haven't seen it yet, and your chin tips up, and there you see him, Degoi, 90 feet in the air, strung out by his feet, all his skin taken out, but his face way up in the sky about 90 feet, 30 meters. What does Helame do?
I think Helame cries for the fire that's been extinguished. Not Degoi. Not Degoi.
She doesn't know Degoi.
Yeah, but the fire that was extinguishing and how useful it was. And then she describes the creature and Degoi and the group. And then at long last at the end, she points to Degoi in the trees.
Do we recognize Degoi from the description?
Yeah, you look up there, Master Emilio, and he's way up there. 30 meters, 90 feet. The ropes that hold his feet, because he's hanging head down.
We see this? We see this too?
Yeah, once she tells you, you look up there and he's hanging there. Like when Helame is the fire, her last breath of life, she sees Degoi hanging there, but you all didn't see him. He was high above the trees, right above that single arrow that was in the ground. That single black arrow with white fletching was right beneath Degoi, and you didn't really see him as you walked through. And Helame points him out, and he has no skin, but you can see he still has his face, the skin around his face. And you can tell, even though he's 90 feet or 30 meters up in the sky, that it is Degoi. His arms are down, and he's not moving. Master Emilio.
Master Emilio will try. Well, there's nothing you could do. Could we get him down somehow?
Do you have any way you would do that?
Cut the tree down.
Well, then he'll fall. He'll fall.
Try to shoot it.
Well, then
Shoot
he'll
the
fall.
thing.
You don't want him to fall. Try to.
No.
Why? He's dead.
Yeah, do you think he's alive?
We don't know that, right? Well, now that you told us,
He's got his skin removed.
well, he's pretty.
I think
If he was alive, he would be screaming his head off.
Could be alive, but
He has been flayed. There is a flayed corpse hanging above us.
yes, he's been flayed. It's not a pleasant way to go.
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
shoot the rope.
You want to shoot the rope?
We could.
Not. And Lena, do you want to shoot the rope?
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
One quick question, Gene.
Uh-huh.
The creature's name, I can't remember. Yeah, good.
Helianor, chieftain.
Helianor.
Chieftain of the Jezerites. I think Helame would hear her name. I also think she tells Degoi her name. She gives it to him. I think she knows that Helianor, and she understands when she's the fire. She understands barbarian language, and that she is the chieftain of the Jezerites.
Would that be something I could lore master roll to like maybe her name is something
You could, yeah.
like history or something? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely lower master Helianor or Jezerite. I don't know.
Really could help if you really could help.
Look at Laris. She's got Lore Master, if that is useful at all.
Milo is lore master.
Do we have 3 lore masters now?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yes.
2.5. I think Helame is just a budding lore master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Starting.
not a master level lore master either.
Right.
I have the ability.
So Not and Lena, are you going to try to shoot the shoot?
I saw a one.
All right, Not and Lena, you could roll to shoot the thing. Huh? Master Emilio got it.
With with Lore Master?
No, to shoot the rope.
Oh, that was to shoot the rope. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna.
okay.
Yeah, you can roll to shoot the rope.
I think they need a target though, right?
They could just roll.
I'm gonna shoot with,
Whatever their stat is.
Yeah, you
for
can roll.
shoot.
I think it's accurate or quick, whichever they're using. Okay. Lena, are you gonna shoot the other side at the same time? Do you guys do this simultaneously?
That'll be cool. Otherwise, he'll swing into a tree.
All right. That would have happened, Not. You knew it. You knew that would happen. If you hit it and she didn't, you would just... But you see Lena...
I think,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think what Not would do would be like hold it, and he would like look over, and, like waiting, and then as soon as she let go, he was like straight in, and then lets it go.
Lena Not let their arrows go. You can't really tell which one is first and which one comes second, but they sever both sides that are holding Degoi's feet by the feet and have him straight out, and both those ropes just snap. Now he's 90 feet in the air, and you just see him fall straight down. His feet maybe fall over his body a little bit as the ropes kind of twang out, and so he rolls a little bit in the air, and then he just hits the ground. He hits it so hard because it's 90 feet that he probably pops up a little bit and drops back down onto the ground in just a pile.
Nat will look at Emilio. I thought you were supposed to catch him.
I'm not gonna catch him.
Oh, he's probably dead now.
Yes, he is.
Master Emilio, Helame, tells you about her vision, and you hear the word Helianor and Jezerites, and you realize that this winged woman and those barbarians underneath Thistle Hold were part of the clan that were routed out, destroyed, and thought to be decimated by Ambrian forces. The Jezerites used to have their fortress exactly where Thistle Hold was, and Ambria, Queen of Ambria, surrounded their fort because they refused to give way. None of the other barbarian clans came to their rescue or assistance, and they were systematically slaughtered. And Helianor was the chieftain's daughter. Master Emilio would put 2 to 2 and realize that the survivors of that massacre, the Jezerites that were left, went down into the rock and caverns beneath Thistle Hold and survived somehow. And this is what is left of them, or what was left of them.
Well, the guy is no longer.
We have to return to Thistle Hold and let Midnight Bitch know that he has an infestation of abominations under his city.
I think
Hopefully the Queen's army can be called back in to finish off the job.
Helame probably recants the conversation between Degoi and Helianor. That conversation where she's asking him why Ambria has broken the ground and made a hole to come hunt them down. Asks them if they're ever going to stop. Why did they attack them while they were safe underground?
Yeah, they're barbarians. They deserved it.
So what does the company do now? Degoi has been cut down from high. He's a mess. Obviously not alive anymore.
Do we have Ferris carry the body back? Is he strong enough to carry the body?
Yeah.
So you're going to return somehow. How would you do that?
Backtrack?
Would you backtrack through the forest to the edge and enter Thistle Hold by a gate? Or would you backtrack through the forest to the tunnels from the caverns?
Caverns,
Okay.
since we know, right?
So that reminds me. Last week I forgot to mention this, and I kind of just forgot since it's been a week. But the term trail blazing is because they used to cut into trees to mark a path, and I would like to do something similar. Not necessarily cut, but at least if not cut, make certain rock formations so that if we wanted to get back to the crevasse that led into Thistlehold, we could.
Okay.
So I say we mark our way from this camp back to Thistlehold, and we go in through the gates. Because no one necessarily knows we left. We don't have to make a big deal about going back. And I don't say this in front of the goblin and the woman because they're new here. But I'll say, it might be useful to know of a way in and out of Thistlehold where our comings and goings maybe are a little less obvious.
At least until they fill in the sinkhole.
But then we buy a house and build a basement with a path that goes into the underground.
So Laris wants to go through the forest to the northern gate of Thistlehold, not back through the tunnels, which maybe in retrospect you did mark your path to this point, from the tunnel or shaft that you came out of, and you could perhaps mark yourself back out or create cross hatches on trees if you don't go back the same way. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I'll go back through the gates then.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
All right.
Beyond just confusion as to why we'd want a secret way into the forest.
So you...
It's not a secret way into the forest. There's plenty of ways to get in the forest. It's a secret way into Thistlehold. That's the value.
All right. So you collect Degoi's body and head south. It's really not that hard. You're not that far away from the edge of the forest. Not probably knows the way, even if none of you others have gone in the immediate kind of area of Thistlehold. It takes a couple hours. Took you a couple hours walking underground to get here. Takes you a couple hours to get back. It's probably near, as you do the ritual and wait for Helame and then cut Degoi down and decide what to do. By the time you get to the northern edge of Davokar, the sun is setting. You see Thistle Hold and the beacon of Thistle Hold where the fire is always bright, and any coming out of Davokar can see a way to safety and home. And you probably end at the edge of the forest, maybe a little bit east, perhaps, of the north gate, not quite right at the north gate. And you see the beacon of Thistle Hold beaming and on fire, and it's 7 stories above the city itself and lighting your way as night is going to fall. And a little bit to the west, you see another small fire at the edge of Davokar, like campfire, which the company may expect is the witches' camp, Gatheramon and Ephronaya. You can see the northern gate and the beacon and the witch's fire a little bit to the west, and the north gate of Thistle Hold and what's called the empty space. It's roughly 300 yards or 300 meters from the edge of Davokar to the north gate of Thistle Hold. What does the company do?
Maybe swing by the camp.
Yeah.
Why would we want to talk to these witches?
Well, I wouldn't. They might know something about what's going on.
They're probably the ones that caused all this.
Could be, but we could find out.
Hmm.
Is it late, Gene? Is it late?
It's like dusk, true nightfall. It's winter, so it's probably going to be completely dark around 6 or 7. So it's probably just after 5, closer to 6. The light is failing, but it's not going to be true dark for quite some time in winter.
Are we approaching Thistle Hold from the east?
No, you're approaching it from due north.
From the north, okay.
Yeah, so Thistle Hold is to the south of you. You're at the edge of the gate, probably at edge of the forest, and you can see the north gate of Thistle Hold.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. And that's where the company had gone out to meet the witches before the well spoke and the sinkhole occurred. So you'd like to go to the witches' camp, sounds like.
Yes.
All right. Not, have you ever met witches?
Yeah, that's what I was asking, if they're from the east side, because that's where the tribe was. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Can we just roll one and I would say if I would know him or not? Or
you can see what happens with you can see what happens with RP. You have your master's iron ring on a silver chain around your neck, maybe tucked inside.
Yeah.
You were trying to be a iron sworn or iron pact. Your master was. There was a number of witches and maybe someone in Thistle Hold itself. But maybe you haven't met witches yet. So the company walk along the edge of Davokar. The north gate is to their right, and they see the witches' camp. Most of the company has met the witches, Gatheramon and Ephronaya, on their huge colossi. As they approach the camp, the colossi are sitting, really, kind of cross-legged, facing Thistle Hold, while Ephronaya and Gatheramon are around the campfire. And both of the colossi just rise up. Their big giant heads kind of turn towards you. And then they rise up from this cross-legged stance and take 3 or 4 steps out to you until you hear Gatheremon's voice ring out, and they just kind of stop. But they're obviously between you and the witches. Gatheramon kind of walks up and stands between the 2 colossi as you approach.
Okay, so just out of character real quick, so I can understand the lore of this. So are witches bad in this world, in this context? Yeah? Okay. And colossi, I'm assuming they're like giants?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So the witches are the barbarians. Witches and the Holdra are a part of the barbarian clans. Every clan has their own witches, and then there's a main witch enclave called the Holdra. The witches are like their lore keepers, the people who they have power. It's like the woman's side of power. They maintain the taboos of the forest. There's a high chieftain, but there's also a Holdra, and they both have power. Ambrians don't like any barbarians, let alone witches necessarily, and
They're the bad guys because we're racist.
So
Yeah.
Landshark, it's very everything's very subjective in this game.
Mhm.
So if you're Ambrian and if you want to explore the forest, they would consider the witches bad. But if you're on the barbarian side, you would think the witches are on your side because they're just defending their land. So it's all very subjective, which is what makes this game really cool.
Yeah,
They're the barbarian equivalent for magic users. Like
But
a
the
combination
question
of
is
priestess and tribe historian.
the question is where does this company stand? So that's what you kind of need to figure out, what your character needs to figure out.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of a colossi. Now they're huge. They stand 15 to 20 feet tall, 4 to 8 meters tall. They're made of bark and tree trunks and vine and rock. Now, not as a goblin who had a master who was iron packed. His appreciation of witches would be probably something different than Ambrian's. Witches were trying to maintain the taboos of the forest so that they didn't wake the darkness underneath it. And the Iron Pack's role in that from the elven side is that they're also doing that. Now, the elves would tell the witches what the taboos were. Don't go to this place, don't rob from this, try to keep the forest quiet. Your master as an Iron Pact member would be a non-elf who's been entrusted with the same sort of ethos to prevent Davokar's corruption from awakening. And so Not may have seen witches or had his master in some degree impart some degree of information in that fashion.
Okay, so I'm gonna try this. Right. So, as you could see, Nat trying to remember something, trying really hard. You could see the hamster in his brain, spinning the wheel, and then he comes up and he's like, "I got it," and he fumbles. Stop the spread of darkness, right? That's what we're here for. And he kind of points at the witch.
Yes, that's why we have to cut down the forest and show the ground the light of Brios.
For the fire. Fight darkness with light.
Yes. Cut down all the trees, spreading the darkness. And allow civilization to prosper.
I think that's right.
So you approach Gadramon in the Colossi, and he just holds out the hand. He recognizes Master Emilio because Master Emilio was the interpreter when they were outside with Captain Marvello trying to figure out why the witches were here in the first place. And so Gadramon looks at Master Emilio and says, "Have we been allowed to enter the city?"
Have we been allowed? What do you mean?
He kind of looks at you and looks behind him at the woman sitting by the fire. She just waves at him. "Has the mayor decided that we, Gadramon and Ephaniah, can enter the city against the great corruption that is surely there that we feel?"
Your distraction worked greatly, though the soldiers that you led to our city have been put down.
Do they know Ambrian?
No.
They know Ambrian?
No, they're talking to you, Master Emilio, because you're the interpreter, right?
Yeah,
But you can
ignore what I said.
Amelia would just tell them that, tell them what happened about the great attack and the sinkhole, and they run through the caverns, and finally they encounter with the barbarian Jesuits.
Yeah, he pauses, Master Emilio, when he tells you that, and he's not really sure, and he looks at you and, how do you know they were Jesuits? Jesuits were slaughtered by the Queen's men.
Emilio kind of just shows off and says, "Well, I'm a scholar. I know these things. I've read many books."
I can count to 10 without my fingers.
Ephronia, at this point, after when she hears the word Jesuits, you see her now. She's maybe a head shorter than Gadrimon, and Gadrimon looks at her, and they talk rapidly back and forth, and they look back at Master Emilio and says, "The Jesuits were not part of what has happened. The well did not ring for them. There is great corruption in the city. You must tell the mayor to allow us to enter. Those weren't our soldiers."
Helame says, "Are they admitting to their atrocities?"
No, they don't. They
should
have
burn
no
them.
connection. They have no connection to the sinkhole.
Lies, master.
Plain
Lies.
no corruption.
Well, I guess if there's nothing more to add, we could just head back to Thistle Hold. Say our farewells.
He looks at you, Master Emilio, and he says, wait, Ordo. You need to find..." He kind of looks at Ephronia, and there's a kind of tenseness between them, and he looks at you and says, "You must find our contact within Thistle Hold. She is part of the Iron Pact. She is trying to find the head of a spirit, forest spirit that has been taken into the city."
Head of a forest. What nonsense are you talking about?
Does that sound familiar? Oh wait, he's talking in a different language. Never mind.
Master Emilio,
Don't speak in riddles.
Ambrians have come, and they have taken the head of the fire spirit Eox and secreted in the city for
Is that
something
what's causing it? Is that what's causing all of this?
we don't know. We came on the bequest of the elves to find their contact within the city, a woman.
Yeah, Emilio rubs his temples and nods his head.
Okay.
So he conveys all of this to the rest of the party.
Does the rest of the party have any questions, Master Emilio? They want Master Emilio to ask.
Ironsworn. I'm an Ironsworn.
Yeah, nice, sworn.
Lirame would like to know the name of this contact.
Okay. Master
Nah.
Yeah,
I'm
that
Ironsworn.
we seem to have a problem here.
Mhm.
So Emilio would ask for the names of this contact, see if and see if she offers it.
Yeah, they do. And
They do.
I'm looking it up because I forgot it all of a sudden. Damn it. But you fly by the seat of your pants. They describe her. She sounds awfully familiar to the group.
But they don't. They don't give a name.
As someone they may have met.
Do they provide a name?
Yeah, they do. I'm looking at.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That woman owes us money.
Right, the woman who owes you money. Darn it. 5 seconds. I always hate when I blank out. I'm shifting through.
There's so much lore in this game, in this campaign.
Yeah. I cheat. I use AI.
I do too. I have it all written down, but when I'm on the fly, I don't have anything planned, and so sometimes. Oh, Anadea. Her name is Anadea. He goes, seek out Anadea. She is the Iron Pact contact.
Was she the one that tried to hire us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And try to talk to the mayor to get us in the city. We can help.
Very well.
Would Nat know Anadea?
Let's see. I leave it to Mythic. Sometimes I roll a fate question and ask, does Nat know? Has Nat met Anadea? Yes. Nat, you hear the name Anadea from Gadirman's lips, and you remember when you first met your master, when he saw your potential. Something in you. Maybe others don't see it, but your master saw it, Nat. And you maybe were in Blackmoor or on the road towards Thistle Hold when your master met up with this woman called Anadea. She's in her early 30s, dark hair, kind of soft eyes, wore a medallion of Prios, which is the thing that caught you off guard. She had the setting sun of Prios on a medallion, which she quickly tucked into her shirt. But you've met this person with your master, Anadea, briefly outside of Thistle Hold.
Anadea. Yeah, Nat knows her. In fact, I just remembered I was on my way to tell her about my master falling a week ago. I haven't informed her that he has passed. I could take you to her.
Well, it's probably important that we get into the city first and talk to the authorities about whatever these elves are lying about.
Nat, do you know your master's name?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
Alaron Tell.
Halarantel. Okay. Do you tell Master Emilio your master's name? Or are you
He
just
didn't ask for it, so I don't think I'd volunteer it. I
Okay.
just call him Master.
all right? Does anyone else have questions for the witches?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're going to head back through the north gate of Thistle Hold. By the time you get there, you leave the witches. They just watch you, and they implore you to ask the mayor to let them in the city, that they can help ferret out where this corruption is that threatens all of Thistle Hold, and try to implore on you that there is much quickness needed, because the well has spoken, and it only speaks when there's terrible corruption within its range, and that the sinkhole must have been related to the vibrations of the well, and it should only get worse if it continues to ring. And you probably hit the gate near nightfall. There's like a makeshift camp outside the gate. The gates are closed solid, locked down. There's no traffic. Usually at night they're partially open, like the small door may be open to allow entrance for late night travelers. But you just see a throng of people, at the gate. There's a lot of noise. They're kind of crowded out around the gate to get in. You hear the guards shout, "The gate is closed. Move on to Blackmoor."
We have information about the East clans that attacked.
Who's got the best relationship with the guards here?
Lyra May.
Well,
Lyra and Bo.
Yeah.
Is it the same guard as before?
Oh no, it's not the little guard that tried to start a fight with you. You, Lear May, probably don't know this guard, but Bo has spent far more time in the barracks because Lear May is usually at Father Sarvello's missionary, and whereas Bo has slept a lot of times
Yep.
in the barracks
In the barracks.
right, and one of the guards he recognized is Girand, a relatively small-waisted, broad-shouldered, pockmarked-faced man with very short hair that's in his late 20s, and he has really big front teeth that overlap, and he often smells like garlic because he eats rare garlic all the time, Bo. But Girand is at the gate. He's trying to push everyone back, yelling that the gates are closed.
Can we talk our way through? Can someone talk their way through?
Bo's going to come up and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you, Bo, and says, "What are you doing out here? Last I heard, you went down the hole."
We did. We have information. So you must let us in so we can share our information.
I'm not supposed to let anyone in, Bo.
We won't tell.
You
Hero,
lie.
was it?
I played dice against you, Bo. You're not a nice man.
Lero will come up behind Bo and go, "You're right. Often on the Wednesday shift, and he'll look around and try and act sort of surreptitious. The hole
Okay.
in the city leads. It leads from the walls. We
one
have
of
to
you-
tell God."
One of you make a persuasion at +5.
Who's got the best persuasion here?
Well, Lear May and Bo.
I-
Lear may go
Nope.
ahead.
That is concerning as to what your persuasive is.
That's why Giran doesn't really like him, because he's not a really nice dice player. He has all this money
No.
and he keeps taking everyone else's dice. Giran looks at you. Lear
That's
May
the
says,
best persuasive.
That's the best of the two people mentioned. My character has a 12.
Lear,
Why didn't he do it?
I tried to say it's not the best, but you guys were like, okay.
well,
it's
the reason they got
so-and-so. I'm like, okay.
+5 is because they,
Are known.
right, and even at
Well, then it
+5,
would have been
right.
it would have been effectively a tie. My 12 versus their modified 12.
Right. Giran looks at you at Lear May, says, "Let me send a message to Captain Marvello. Just wait.
That works.
Just
Very
wait."
well.
He yells in there and pulls in and said, "Look, oh, and Lear May are here with, I don't know, Master Emilio, I think, or whoever was out with Captain Marvello. They say they have information. I have no idea why they're out here, but go get Captain Marvello and see if we can let him in." And you wait there for a while in darkness, probably about an hour and a half by the time they find Master Marvello, and he sends a message back, and the guardsmen come back and places it in Giran's hand, and he opens it up and looks at it and says, he gives it to Bo. "Master, Captain Marvello wants to see you in the barracks. Come on in quickly before this crowd bursts through." And he tries to slowly open the small door of the gate. "Come on, hurry, hurry, hurry."
Yeah. Lero will do his technically civic duty as a deputy guard, and then usher his party through whilst barring stragglers from following them in.
All right. So the company returns to Thistle Hold. You enter the gate. It's chaos at the gate, really. On the inside, it's just as much chaos on the outside as it is on the inside. There's people sleeping in the street. There's guards everywhere, even at this time of night. And it's not the same sort of feeling that when you left before. There's, people meandering. There's fist fights happening. There's things that are just out of disarray as you enter through the north gate after having gone down the sinkhole and tailing Degoi. And we're end it there until I return. Hopefully you all had fun. I had fun.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah, great
good.
session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question though, Gene.
Sure.
We have sort of like incompatible backgrounds. I'm wondering.
No, you don't have incompatible backgrounds. They're just going to cause
we have
tension.
we,
This is gonna-
we have
yeah,
an iron sword and a thurge, and then there's somebody with like sorcery. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, and I found out about that little tidbit that you put there with the medallion of Prios thing, and I was like, wait, who is that? And I just looked it up real quick. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Right. I inserted something on Anadea, which is there, but disparate groups are fine. It will just add to the role play as people have difficulty in decisions. I thought the interplay between Lear May and Nat was great. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great addition.
Nat is his whole character is he was like sort of squiring, but he didn't get like the full lesson. Plus, he's not that sharp, so he doesn't really know everything that it's supposed to be in Ironsworn. But he knows that he's following certain percepts of what it is to be an Ironsworn. He knows he has to fight the darkness.
He's
Now
got a
we-
wider message, and he's just ready and pliable and prone to being swayed by this rogue theurge teaching him that maybe we should kill all the elves.
And it's possible, and we'll see how he role plays, because I don't have a set story for him.
Right, you played him pretty naive, which is fitting because it makes it uncertain. Like I gave you the iron ring for a particular reason. It's not his, but I thought it would be kind of cool and interesting. He doesn't necessarily have this impression, but
And goblins are notoriously, I guess, short-lived, so he's just doing what he can at the time, so he doesn't have any designs of long-term.
You can't think that far ahead.
Yeah, he can't think that far ahead, exactly.
lives for the moment.
Yeah, he's for the moment. Death happens, especially to goblin kind.
Yeah, it's a great character, really entertaining.
I had a lot of fun at the beginning, and I had a lot of fun setting you all up with Degoi and asking Degoi, who do I kill first? So you kind of had that, hopefully trying a little bit of dread. I wanted to see what Degoi said, but I had that fun. And then the rest was just ad-lib. I had a lot of fun just role-playing afterwards. But
yeah, way to go, bringing back the dark tones of the setting.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's they were definitely treading in there.
Yeah, there's no alignment in this game, so
Right.
everything's
That's
gray.
right.
Everything's pretty gray.
Right.
Well,
The combat was fun. Everyone had their everyone did lots of things that made that combat turn out. I got a little nervous at the beginning because I knew how hard it could be, and I see how it would wash out. But then everyone seemed to fall into place. Bo did his thing, Not did his thing, Master Emilio and Lyra May did his thing, Lena and Hella May, who I really like to, did his thing. I wasn't certain whether Degoi was going to die or not, but
I wasn't even certain. I was like, hell, man, I wasn't even ready for that.
right, you made her, right? I assumed that she was your character, correct?
Yeah, I made it. I just wasn't prepared to like actually run it. I didn't
Right.
finish it. I just kind of threw some stuff on there, I hadn't thought about like the character build or anything. I just like, oh, pyromancer. I just kind of threw stuff on there. I thought I was still playing Degoi, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know if Helame's actually ready.
Right.
Those are the best characters.
Killed off out of hand.
I thought you played her great. I had no idea who she was, and that's why that's why we did the opening kind of, and you played her as this noble, which I thought was hilarious. And I was uncertain what to do at Degoi for a while, and then but I thought Helame was a pretty fun character.
You got a
Oh, yeah.
lot of magic now.
Look.
Got a lot of wizardry.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the confusion between Helame and Lirame.
Right. She's gonna get a nickname.
Well, I when I had the character in my head, I was like, I want to do something to Sundry, right? Like just an annoying brat that thinks everybody's a servant of some kind. And I think
That's like Bo. That's Bo right there.
Yeah, but Bo's nobility hasn't
noble,
necessarily come out as much because he hasn't had a foil like Helame to play against. He's the only noble here who has lots of money, but Landshark, I hope you had fun first session. I didn't kill you.
I did. I did have a lot of fun. I got to learn more about Nat and his tendencies, and thanks for the background. It definitely helped shape a little bit more about who he is, and especially from where the tribe was. He just ended up calling everyone master.
Yeah, I thought that was great
Yeah.
too. Like that
Yeah.
little tidbit of calling everyone master was hilarious. That fleshed him out, like what Nat really is. As he calls everyone master. I thought that was great. It
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Yeah. So it was good. I had a good time. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Looking forward to more games.